All right, welcome back to Orange Peelers. Magic round is over. How you going, Zane?
I'm very good, very good. First weekend I haven't been to a footy game.
I was about to say, did you at least watch every game?
Majority. There's 2 early Saturday games I saw bits and pieces of, but majority of them, I watched.
And shout out to Sportshed TV. You did go up to Sneaky's kitchen.
I did, and it was a very good afternoon watching the Sunday games up there.
That's almost good.
Very interesting games.
Almost as good as going to a live game, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say close to it.
Got to see Jason David?
Yeah, it's always good to see Jason.
Shout out to Jason. We're getting him on the podcast one day.
Yeah, we will,
one
for
day.
sure.
All right, I would sit here and recap my Magic round, Zane, but I'm not going to do that. If you're watching this on YouTube, go watch my vlogs. They're on the channel. If you're on Spotify, Winston.Neville on YouTube. If you want to hear my recap, my holiday recap of Magic round, go watch the vlogs. Let's get into some games. Shall we? I
think we should.
That's what we're here to do.
It's normally your line. So, Bulldogs versus Raiders. Let's do it.
All right. So, that's what I sort of looked at and I panicked. I was like, I don't really want to talk about the Bulldogs. Can we delay this a bit more? Bulldogs Raiders. Now, I said the Bulldogs would win by 1-12 and Carraz, anytime try scorer. None of that happened.
And my first try scorer of the weekend.
Raiders 1-12 and Rapani, you said, and he scored literally the first set of the game. It ripped my heart out. It was right in front of me. What did you make of this game?
I thought when the Raiders were up 22-6, I even messaged you about it. I'm like, Bulldogs are shit. They're gone. The Raiders are going to pump them here. And Bulldogs of 2021 would have been pumped by 50 there.
Oh, definitely.
They hung in.
Definitely.
They came back and were very unlucky. Like, the Raiders got a few dodgy calls at the end. Like, that Jack Whiten one.
There were some bad calls both ways.
That try where...
Jack White with the pass?
Yeah,
that wasn't forward. And then the one where that was a different one. Yeah, there was 2 times where Raiders should have scored tries, to be fair. There was also bad calls, I thought, against the Bulldogs, but it went both ways.
Hudson Young, do you think he's a lock for Origin?
I don't think
believe
he's a lock.
he is.
You reckon he's a lock?
I reckon on the
Origin?
bench you got to have him.
I don't think a lock.
I don't realise how good he was because I don't really ever watch the Raiders games too closely, but I watched this game closely. He's a gun.
Yeah, no,
absolute weapon.
I didn't know. I'm in the same boat as you. I didn't watch as many Raiders games this year as other teams. Like the whole 80 minutes. But I remember last year he was killing it, and
he still
was
is
in the mix
this
for
year.
Australia. And I wasn't sure if he was, but he's in the mix at least.
Yeah, the Raiders are a very, very underrated side who you just don't know what you're going to get. Like, there's been some real guns at that team this year. Like, the way I say it, they're not a bad side, but they're not a good side. Like, teams are just better than them. Yeah. And that's why they're always in that 8th to, 11th proximity.
Well, I think when you can beat such a premiership threat like the Bulldogs, you're definitely a quality football side.
But they're in the 8 at the moment, the Raiders. So
are they? Where are they?
No, they are 9th. I apologise.
They've got the West Tigers spot. Let's have a look.
They do. I believe they're 9th, the Raiders. But
they're equal.
Corey Horsburgh, do you think he's a dark horse for the Queensland squad?
I think Corey Horsburgh... Lock him into the squad. Yeah. You're talking about locking in Origin players? He's so good.
Queensland
has
so much options, though.
The Raiders are 9th, but they're on 12 points, equal with Panthers in 3rd on 12 points. Yeah. It's crazy how close it is. But Corey Horsburgh, he's just so good. He's like a bulldog.
Yeah.
He plays like a bulldog. He
looks like
he's
one
got
as
that
well.
dog in him.
Just with red hair. And even though, he played 2 games for the Dogs a few years ago.
He's an ex-Bulldogs legend.
Yeah, he's a bulldog.
And he's just so passionate. Like, he's made for Origin, how passionate he is. Yeah. Like, he's got that infamous moment where a few years ago he cried during but that's just how passionate he is. Yeah. Like, imagine him playing Origin.
Yeah,
he'd probably cry.
I always thought he was British.
Same.
Until then I heard him speak. I'm like, wait, where's the accent?
Yeah.
He's Queenslander. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought you mentioned how the Raiders. What'd you say? It was 22-6.
Yeah, I believe it was.
Like that. It was such a bad start for the Bulldogs, and it literally cost them the game. The Bulldogs won the last 79 minutes.
They did.
Like
79, you reckon?
Or 78 at least. Like the Raiders scored the first set 6 points and won by 4.
That was the difference in the end.
Yeah, and the Raiders deserved to win the game. They were the better team by far, in my opinion. The Raiders should have won by way more.
But Ricky Stewart saying pre-game, he doesn't want it to be tight. He wants them to win
did he
a
say
big game.
That?
Yeah, he did. So they don't make it easy for him, do they?
Yeah, no, they don't.
Yeah, the Faders.
The
still
Faders.
Not gone yet.
You sort of touched on it. The Bulldogs did hang in the game. I thought both teams were really bad defensively.
Yeah.
And there were so many tries off kicks. I think there might have been 2 or 3 tries that weren't.
But that Rapana one was just so soft.
There was
no
so
one even
many
contested.
that were soft.
No one contested.
There was the one where Hayes Perham just missed it completely.
Yeah.
And did Hudson Young score that?
Yeah, I think that was the one where
Young.
They went up 22-6, was it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It was a bad game of football, I thought.
Yeah.
Like,
Not
I
the
might
best
be
game of the
biased,
round. Like, it was
but
entertaining, but, like, out of all the games.
Entertaining, but a bad game of footy,
Yeah.
I think. Like, high scoring.
Yeah, you always love the
you're not
high scoring
complaining.
ones.
There was so many points. What was it at half time? It was something
I
like...
think it was like 22-18.
Yeah,
maybe.
it was. Yeah, it was. It was 40 points scored in the first half, like
Yeah.
a point a minute. Like, it was insane. But, yeah, as a Bulldogs fan, it hurt.
Yeah.
I'll say this, Zane. You said you were ready to rule the Bulldogs out. Was that last week or the week before?
I think it was the week before.
I think if...
I don't think they can make finals.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
was
thing.
about to say,
I don't think they're going to play finals
as it
this year.
stands, we play Warriors this Friday. We lose that, I think we're out of contention.
It's a game Warriors need to win as
It's
well.
Warriors, Titans into a bye. I think there was a period 2 weeks ago we had what it would have been Titans, Warriors, Raiders. Who did we play last week? Dragons.
Yeah.
And I said that month leading into the bye, we got to win 3 or 4 games. We've
They've
lost
won.
one, so we have to win the next 2.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm happy to rule us
They're
out.
both winnable games, but they're both games I can
They're
see
both
them losing.
losable
Yeah.
games as well, yeah. So that's like, if we lose this week, I'm happy to put a pen through us. And and it's unfortunate with injuries.
Where are
and
they at the
stuff.
moment? 15th Dogs, aren't they?
15th, but 2 points behind.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's anything like Tigers can still play finals at this
for
point.
and against
so.
hurts as well, though, for the
Yeah.
Bulldogs. And, like, it sucks that we've
Because of
had all
that
these
shellacking
injuries.
they suffered on Good Friday.
What's that?
That shellacking they got on Good Fridays.
yeah, that didn't help. And that's like that comes back to the injuries as well. Like, if we didn't have injuries, probably still lose that game, but it's closer. Especially, like, that's the game Josh Adokar got hurt.
Yeah.
If he plays the whole game. And it does suck that we've had injuries, but like, we've had them. You can't, like, go and change the past and get those wins back. So maybe at the end of the year we'll be 2 points outside of the 8.
They could.
And you can blame it on the injuries, but, like,
Yeah.
that's still...
Or you can
that's
blame it
just
on the
how it is.
Rabbitohs who just,
Yeah.
you know,
But yeah, that's just
so
how it is. So
do.
as I said, I think if we lose one of these next 2 games, I think it's time
Yeah.
to rule us out, unfortunately. I think...
on
and
to
the same-
2024.
What's that?
On to 2024.
Well, we're winning the comp next year, so I'm not too stressed. In fact, I'll tell you this much, Zane. This is what I was thinking. I think I was thinking it on the plane or something. I was like, I hope we start just getting smacked every week. I hope we get the wooden spoon.
So next year can be that.
Because next year, the betting markets on us winning the comp, we're going to be so low. The worse we do this year, the least, like, the more we pay to win the comp. And I'm putting my house on us to win the comp next year. Because we're going to win it, because it's 2024. And then, so the more we're paying, the more money I win. It's as simple as that. The worse we go this year, the more money I make next year when we win the comp.
That's a good point. They'll
Am
be
I wrong,
if they
though?
get the
Like, do you know
spoon,
what I
they'll be what? Normally at the start of the season, it's about 1,000. It
Yeah,
gets
I was going
lower.
to say like
yeah.
51 at least.
Early in the season, maybe not 1,000.
Yeah, I
but
think later in the
say
season.
100
but
probably.
yeah,
200.
That's like 101 to 1.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be making heaps of money. So keep losing games, doggies.
Like, how much is your house worth? It'd be up to $1 million. You're gonna put $1 million on
Mate,
the dog.
legit. I'm not even kidding, but like,
You just buy
they're
the
winning
club.
comp.
You could just buy the club if they win
Well, that's
it
my
after
plan.
that,
I'm going
with that money.
to put my house on the doggies to win the comp, and then I'm going to win it and then buy them.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
then they're
That's
never going to lose a comp again. It's a foolproof plan.
what, with you in charge, they won't lose another comp.
What's that? Yeah, with me in charge, they won't lose any games. That's facts. All right,
there we go.
I think that's enough Bulldogs talk. Let's move on to Manly Broncos before we get into one of the games of the round potentially.
This
Maybe
one?
it was all right.
I
Maybe
wouldn't
not
say-
game of the round. That's
nah.
a bit of a stretch, but it was.
I
just,
think this wasn't.
was
I think this was
entertaining.
just as low as the Bulldogs and Raiders game, to be honest.
fair
Like,
enough. Actually, I did jump the gun a bit. There.
Manly were
But
awful.
I had
Josh
the-
Ole, I say Ole.
O'Shea Ole.
Aloy was
Yeah.
dreadful.
Yeah, he had one of the great shockers of
Yeah,
all time.
he did.
I've seen people calling
And
for him to get
Travojevic,
dropped.
he's trying his ass off, but he's not playing good.
I wouldn't pick him for Origin. I'm going
Neither
to
would
say
I.
it.
And I got a question about Origin soon.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, I think it might
Yeah,
be.
he's not healthy, is he? It's as simple as that. He's
but
not.
I still have a feeling Fittler wants him there.
Oh yeah, because Fittler's an idiot.
Yeah.
Obviously, when it's weird when you talk in Origin because like I've got the team that I'd pick, and then people are like, "Oh, but Freddie wouldn't do that." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. This is the team I'd pick. If you want me to do a
That's what
team
happened
that
with
Freddie would
Klein.
pick, I can change it completely, and I can put Staggs at centre and Crichton on the bench if you want. But I'm doing my team. But yeah, I had Manly 1 to 12 and Walsh anytime, which once again nothing happened there. And once again, you hit all 3. Broncos 13 plus and Cobbo anytime.
A hat trick as well.
Yeah,
Hat trick
he did
last
get
year,
a
hat trick
hat-trick.
this year.
He loves Magic Round. I had somebody comment on one of my TikToks. They were like, put Cobbo into your fantasy side because he loves Magic Round. I was like, yeah, whatever. I didn't do it, obviously. And then they came back and commented, I told you to do it. Because he just loves magic round.
He was just a gun. And the Broncos, they're playing good footy, but now they've got their test coming up. I believe they got
Storm
this week, and then they got Penrith next week. So this is going to show.
And Storm aren't favourite. Storm are favourite.
Yeah, because they got a very, very good record against the Broncos in Melbourne especially. Yeah. So
and they're coming off
by the end of this week, South could probably be on top of the table. Which
are you only 2 points behind?
2 points, but our for and against is 2 points behind theirs as well.
Yeah, true.
So, we could be... Yeah.
We'll get to South.
Hasn't seen that since 2019. South on top of the table.
Well, that's not that long ago.
Not that long ago.
Oh, that's 4 years. That's like 2023 now. Never mind. The whole COVID.
It's been a long time
since
together. South have been on top of the table. So
wow. Very
excited.
That's interesting that they haven't been on top ever. Not finishing
2021.
The season. You mean
not on top. No.
Never.
No, they haven't been first since round 8, 2019.
There you go. That is a stat. I'll tell you what I've noticed with the Broncos. They seem to always finish games quite strong.
They do.
Like they did.
Because I think teams just get exhausted by their forwards, and then they can just run away with it.
Is it almost flat track bully territory though?
I think so, because
it could be.
I said the other week South would be a big test for them, and they got pumped. I know they didn't have Haas and Mann, but they got hammered in that game.
Yeah.
Like especially in the second half, they just weren't there. So
and there's games where like Dolphins took it to them, and they didn't run away with it. But then you get teams where they're playing like Dragons, for example.
Yeah, they could run away with it.
They ran away with it.
So I'm not shot on the Broncos yet this season.
I think lock them into the finals.
Yeah, they'll play finals. Unless like something like last year happened, which it won't happen.
Unless somebody curses them again, Den Kemp, then they'll play finals.
They're locked in. They're locked in. They've won 8 games? They're playing finals.
Yeah,
they need to win just 4 more.
They've lost 2 games.
They need to win just 4 more at least to lock themselves in to the finals. Which
that's true.
Like they'll play finals. I reckon they do lose more than 4 more games this year, but they're playing finals.
They'll win more than 4 more games.
Yeah, exactly.
Surely.
Yeah.
Well, there's still 16 or 17 rounds.
And they got such an easy draw. Like if they miss the finals from here, it's
worse than last year.
They can fall. I remember the Dragons did it once. Weren't they leading for most of the season, and they just bombed it?
May Premiers.
Yeah.
Because they'd always just fall.
2017 it was that year when they were first for half the year, then they just
stopped.
Yeah, stopped.
Yeah. Even in 2020 with Barbecue Gate, they were in the top
2018
8.
they did as well. They
do
came
it all the
7th.
time.
I remember Parramatta who came last that year just pumped them in one game.
Yeah.
Hayne had scored a hat-trick or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's but barbecue one they should have made the 8 as well that season.
Yeah, and then they just went.
That was a terrible year.
2020,
2021. It was just such a one-sided series.
Yeah, that was Peter Volandi's ball. That was like the year of Turbo, where he just went and killed it because all the rule changes.
Yeah,
and the clubs hadn't caught up on him.
Yeah, a lot of clubs have.
And that was
because Titans played finals that year with 14 losses and 10 wins.
Yeah, it was the first time. I think it was the first time ever that a team had.
And the Knights had 12 wins, 12 losses in 7th with a for and against of minus 146.
Yeah.
Something. It was
terrible.
terrible.
Like the first year that a team had more losses than wins and made all negative 4 and
every single team in the top 4 had for and against of plus 200 more than that.
Yeah, it was when Manly thumped us 66
Yeah, the average win for those top 4 sides were 40 plus every game. South had a period 8 games in a row where they had scored
that was
more than
the year you had Panthers put 50 on you, right?
Yes.
Was that 22?
Yes, it was.
That was 20, and then made the grand final.
Yeah, and Melbourne put 50-0 as well. But there was a period that year, 8 games in a row, where South scored more than 30 points.
Yeah.
So it was just the debacle of the year. Yeah.
Weird time. What were we talking about? The Broncos and Manly?
We were Manly just, I think, I don't know.
It's weird, eh?
They started off so well, but I think they're falling asleep now.
I think there's also just issues behind the scenes, maybe. Get into the Schuster scenario.
Yeah.
And just look at their coach.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a look at their coach and let's really question, we saw what happened with him at the Broncos. They did start the season well, but guess what? The Broncos started the season well under Seabold as well. So, yeah, I do question what's going on at Manly. I know, a lot of fans, Manly and non-Manly fans, were questioning why they appointed Seabold.
Yeah,
and I'm not sitting here blaming him.
It's weird out of all that. They had all these options, Shane Flanagan, Jeff Tuvey, Mike Mawan, and out of nowhere Seabold signs.
Yeah,
and
it's just, and I'm not blaming Seabold for what's going on, but it is. It's a thing that's there, you know what I mean? That is part of the equation, maybe. I don't know. I'm not writing Manly off for the season or anything, but they do have some stuff to sort out.
There is a lot of issues
Turbo
there.
being, he's clearly not healthy. He probably shouldn't be playing, in my opinion. And then they aren't set on a 5'8". They've got Schuster.
Yeah,
I think he's injured at the moment.
Has been the
Johns
one
has been,
he goes all right,
but, as well.
You know.
But he's like, he goes all right, but he's not an elite 6. I think they missed 4 and a bit, and then they've got
forwards
forwards
been a
that are
huge
just
loss
not
for
standing up.
Yeah,
like
they're
LOA.
not. I've never really rated their forwards though.
Yeah, no, neither.
Like they're
like
very
they got
young.
Jakey Turbo, but
apart from him.
Olakau'atu, obviously.
Olakau'atu, I forgot. Like they do have some solid forwards, but I just don't rate them.
And like maybe Ches is getting a bit past it. Cherry Evans.
Yeah, he's coming. He's like 34 now.
Yeah.
He will retire within the next, season or 2.
Yeah,
I don't think this year. Maybe next year.
Yeah, within 2 seasons.
He might have signed with the Titans for a year.
Yeah, go join his buddy Kieran Foran.
Yeah.
Did you? Oh, actually, we'll get to it later. We'll get to it when we get
back.
to the Titans.
Would the Titans pick him up again?
Who?
Would they?
Cherry?
The Titans. Yeah.
Imagine that would be like completing the arc. Eh?
Yeah.
That's like a
They
movie.
fail on Cherry Evans, so they sign his best mate.
Yeah.
10 years later.
10 years later. We'll get to the Titans, but man, Foran's killing it.
Are
you all good to move on? You don't have anything else you want to bring up with Broncos?
No, not really. Broncos I'm still not shot on yet this season.
Yeah.
Like I feel like,
they'll play finals, but are they going to finish first?
They remind me of the Sharks from last season.
Yeah, okay.
And the Sharks remind me of the Sharks from last season as well. So we'll get to the Sharks soon as well, won't we?
Yeah,
after
far out.
The next game, which was a bit of a game, wasn't it?
Warriors Panthers. Yeah, it was all right.
Again, Warriors scored early. Everyone got excited.
Oh yeah, everyone was up and about. Like obviously,
the only thing that bugs me about this game is that it was my multi of the week. Penrith won by 12, not by a point more. And Toto scored a try.
When I was doing up our tips, you had Panthers 13 plus and
why
Toto.
couldn't Cleary just go for a late field goal? Just
seal it. Well, you'd almost expect him to as well.
Yeah,
but that's the other thing that the clubs are doing this year.
Penrith still haven't hit their stride yet.
That's what I've got down. I said they're struggling to click into 4th or 5th gear.
I know. And the thing is, Warriors, they've been in all these games over the last 3 weeks, but they just can't beat those top sides.
Yeah.
Which, they're
did
out of
beat
the 8
Sharks.
Now. They're in 11th. They beat Sharks, so that was a
Sharks
pretty...
also keep dropping.
That was a pretty
games.
lucky win, that one.
Yeah.
That Sharks one. But
and as you just said, the Warriors are out of the 8 now.
And they were second a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Such a shame.
That's how close the comp is.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But yeah, I think it's almost hard to get a read on them.
They're not
now.
getting pumped, the Warriors, but
they're hanging in games.
Yeah.
And they're showing they can compete. They competed with Storm.
Yeah, they're resilient, but they're just not similar to the Raiders. They're not bad, but teams are just better than them.
Yeah, there are better teams.
Yeah,
but there are teams that they're better than as well.
That's why I think they're going to be finishing that 8th to about 11th position this year.
Them and Raiders, I think, definitely fall into that range.
Middle spot.
I had another horrible game of tipping. I had Warriors 1-12 and Luai. So I'll tell you what, the strategy didn't do me any good this week. I think I got 3 out of 8 for the whole week doing the opposite strategy. So I'm
going to go back to your old ways.
Yeah, I'm going back to the old ways, but we'll come back to that. I said Warriors hung in the game well, which we sort of just touched on, and then obviously Panthers struggling to click on. But what did you make of the Warriors major sponsors CEO's comments? That's a big sentence.
It is.
Did you know what I'm talking about? Did you see that?
Accusing the refs of cheating.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, it's called One New Zealand now, but it was Vodafone. The CEO of that company who sponsored the Warriors came out and essentially accused the refs of cheating, of being biased against the Warriors, and he said it's cheating of the highest order, meaning it's the worst cheating ever.
Right. That's a big statement to make.
What did you make of
big
that?
Statement. They're obviously not. It's just the Warriors are just getting very unlucky with their calls, and they have been for years, but there's nothing they can do about it. You just can't, make those calls 50-50. Hold the ball. Don't make stupid tackles where they give penalties. Just
do you think
try
teams
and be perfect
and fans need to accept, am I crazy here, or should it be just acceptable that sometimes in a game you're going to get bad, you're going to get the wrong call?
Yeah.
And that's part of the game. That's part of the fabric of the game.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
And it happens
Everyone
to every
knows
team.
Everyone knows it.
I think it's, I think you have to accept that every game you're going to get 2 to 3 calls that are completely wrong, and you have to accept it. And does that mean a bit of luck plays into the game?
Yes.
It does, but that's the sport.
The other thing I was thinking is how weird, Vodafone's now One New Zealand. If the Warriors win the comp in front of the Telstra sign.
Yeah,
with their
One New Zealand.
Yeah,
And that's
gonna be awkward,
conspiracies, though. with the TV time slots and stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's conspiracies that they cheat because.
Oh, well, see, the thing with the
sort of
time
thing.
slots is so it's on at prime time
Yeah.
in New Zealand.
Yeah.
That's why they always get like the early Friday game,
Yeah.
the early like daytime
Yeah.
games that people over there can watch it.
Yeah,
That's
but
why you don't see them play like
people always like,
nighttime games here.
You don't want Warriors to be good because then they have to get the good games. It's like,
Yeah.
nah. I think every team gets rough calls. To be honestly, if like I do think Warriors get worse calls than other teams. I
They
think
do.
like if you have to name the team that probably gets robbed the most, I think Warriors.
Yeah.
To be fair, but I
But you
don't
see,
think.
the thing with the Warriors, like I kind of agree. Like if they get a home final, I don't know what Channel 9's going to want to
Yeah,
do about
exactly.
having the goal all the way over there, or if the NRL are going to make them like play it at Sunshine Coast or
Yeah.
Central Coast, which the Warriors won't want.
Yeah, I don't think the
Like,
NRL actively go out of their way to cheat the Warriors. I
Yeah.
think maybe there's like there is sub. I think refs subconsciously favour some teams over others, but that's just the fabric of the game.
Yeah.
That's rugby.
Some
league.
players are very good at like
That's life.
like convincing
Yeah,
the refs
like
as
Cameron
well.
Smith,
Yeah,
for
he was
example,
very
like he was good, and that's part of the game.
James Maloney was good at it
That's
as
part
well.
of the game. I think you got to live with that. As much as it sucks, like that's just what the sport is, and that's what life is, really.
Yeah, Adam Reynolds is very good at it.
Yeah,
as
Adam
well.
Reynolds as
Yeah.
well. Gutho and Moses, they love complaining to the
I
ref.
think if they put a poll out and the refs completed, who would they say is the most like biggest
Annoying.
silk that they have to ref?
Who do you
They'd
think?
say Gutherson.
I'd say
wouldn't they?
Gutho
Yeah.
and Reynolds at number 2
Oh,
probably.
yeah, Reynolds would
Reynolds
be.
is
Reynolds
pretty
seems to make
bad.
their calls, you know. He
Yeah,
always-
I think Gutho number 1 complainer, but
yeah.
'cause they always him and Moses always do the up in the
Yeah.
air ones.
They're the worst at it. I think up there as well, like, you know, I think Dane Gagai would be up there
Yeah,
too.
true,
He's a
yeah.
real.
I think obviously
Victor
Cameron
Radley.
Smith's the top-
Victor
yeah,
Radley,
Victor
obvious.
Radley.
Yeah, there's
yeah,
a few Penrith boys I think could be up there
Yeah,
as well.
true.
Ricky Stewart.
Ricky
Yeah.
Stewart, he'd be at number 1. He's not even a player.
Yeah, just
he
his-
gets 10 minutes a game to
I love
complain
his
about the
press
refs.
conferences.
They're so good.
And Wayne Bennett.
Yeah, him and Wayne Bennett are probably the most entertaining coaches. I think.
They are.
They
And
should like. how did
Des
they not have
Hasler
more
was as
sponsors?
well.
Yeah, he was always entertaining.
He was always very like condescending during his and he, like
Yeah.
you didn't know if
You
he was,
always knew that something was going to happen in one of his press conferences.
yeah.
Even Trent
Like, do you
Robinson,
rem-
to be honest,
Yeah,
he
Trent
can be
Robert-
entertaining. You know,
yeah.
like when there's a bad call, you know he's.
I was
gonna
like, oh, they don't
do
respect
something.
Roosters players.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, he's gone to hospital. They did nothing about it.
You love the Roosters and Trent
Yeah,
Robinson. I
God.
forgot about how much you love the Roosters.
But yeah, Des Hasler, he always made just real dad jokes sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, remember when they'll talk, the asbestos issue happened up in Manly?
Yeah, on the hill. Yeah.
Yeah, then he was, when they had the home final there, someone asked him about it, and his answer was, we'll fill the hill asbestos we can. It was just a real, I've got a footage of it somewhere, and he's like, we'll fill the hill asbestos we can.
Oh, dear,
Like, it's
that's not good.
It's a terrible joke,
That's
isn't
a
it?
horrible joke.
But I love that. You
Yeah.
know.
No, that's good, but I like it when coaches and players are characters.
Yeah, same with
Yeah, that's
Maloney.
good.
Maloney used to always be like that, getting interviewed.
Yeah.
When
like
he got
tell bad
asked,
jokes
he's
and
like,
stuff.
"Oh, you're off to France." He goes, "Bonjour," and he just said some sentence in French.
Yeah.
And like, it was just,
So,
you know,
what?
it's funny to see.
Yeah, no,
I miss
it's good.
James Maloney.
Yeah, we agree that the NRL isn't actively trying to
No,
cheat the Warriors.
absolutely
But
not.
we do agree that there are bad calls every game. You just have to.
And I've seen conspiracy theorists saying the NRL is planned out pre-season.
Yeah, they write the
Premiership
script.
Yep, score lines are created. Like, it's all scripted.
I'll tell you what,
like,
Zane,
which is a load of shit. Like,
if there was
obviously-
ever a script for the NRL, it was 2014 grand final though.
not necessarily. Oh no, that was
I'm not
Rabbitoh's
saying there
base,
was
but-
one, but like if there ever was a script,
Yeah, that was
but
scripted.
scripted.
Seattle always winning that
yeah,
game.
that's what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah, like no
they
one
were-
cared about the Bulldogs
yeah,
that game. Like there
that
was a,
week, bro. It was
yeah, no
all
one
Souths.
mentioned them. The only
Yeah.
thing that was mentioned was James Graham's captain. Ennis is out. That's it.
Yeah, I think if Bulldogs ran, if Bulldogs
They came
didn't
from
run
seventh
out,
as well.
Yeah,
Like,
we had
no
a
one's
crazy
talk-
run through that final.
No one's
series.
talking. No one was talking about it. They're like, oh, South's 40 years.
We pumped Melbourne in Melbourne week 1 and then beat Manly by a field goal.
Yeah, I know. Was
And
that
then
the
upset
one with the
Panthers.
Greg Eastwood
the Greg
Inglis?
Inglis intercept. Yeah, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I feel like if Bulldogs had 0 players run out onto the field, nobody even would have
That was a
noticed.
very, like, looking back, a very entertaining final series.
Yeah.
2014. Like there was
Did
that
Rabbitohs have a
soured
good run
field
as
goal.
well?
There was that soured field goal in that.
What year was it? 2014. So
There was that soured field goal against the Roosters that sent Penrith to
and then
the...
there would have been a game where Cowboys were robbed because they had
Yeah, the
3
one where
years
they
in a
were down
row.
30-0 and came back.
Who-
and
was
got
that the
robbed.
Roosters one?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
then
then there was the
there's that-
Roosters
yeah.
prelim, which is like probably one of the best games I've watched.
Yeah.
They were up 12-0 like 5 minutes in, and Mitchell Pearce with his big mouth, it's caught on camera saying Souths are going to choke again,
Yeah.
telling the players that, and then they just ripped through them from that point. And Pearce
that
didn't
was
say
good
another
fun.
word.
Shout out to Mitchell Pearce.
Yeah.
Speaking of why not? Well, let's touch on this while we're here. Did you see he said he's now open to coming back to the
Gosh.
NRL?
Do you know where I think he could end up?
Where?
Dogs.
You reckon?
Yeah.
He was always sort of linked to us.
Yeah.
Not in a good way, if you know what I mean.
I reckon
He always
Dogs.
had his way with Dogs.
Or Dragons.
I was
He's the
thinking
type
back
of.
to
He's the
Roosters.
type
What
of.
about Raiders?
Oh, good.
Like they need
They
a
need a
half.
half, yeah. So that's the place he could go. But I don't think
just
he will.
find it funny
I just
that-
feel like it's the type of signing the Dragons would make.
Yeah.
Getting him there. I
And
just,
then move Hunt to hooker, even
Yeah,
though
they do
he's
some-
actively saying he literally does not want to play there.
Yeah,
Like
that is-
actively saying that.
it is a Dragon signing to make, Mitchell Pearce. So you never know.
I just find it funny that a month ago, if that, the Tigers were like, oh yeah, we're trying to get Mitchell Pearce. And Pearce was like, no, I'm happy here. I'm never coming
Yeah,
back. And now a
don't
month
forget-
later, now that that's all blown over, he's like, oh no, I would come back.
Yeah, not to the Tigers.
Not
though.
to the Tigers. Oh, I just find that funny,
Yeah.
hey. But where were we? We were talking about Warriors and Panthers. I feel like that's enough.
Yeah. Next game though.
This
Probably
is.
the
I'm
best game of the
excited
round.
to
You
talk
reckon?
about this. Yeah, I'd say so.
Oh, the next one after this.
What?
Which one?
I'd say this is game of the round.
Yeah.
Dolphins,
I didn't
Sharks.
even watch this one until the second
Fins
half.
up, baby. Fins up. Shout out to the Dolphins getting it done. Even Zane's got his fin up. Wayne Bennett's 900th. I'll tell you what.
30-0, 30 minutes
After
in.
30 minutes, I had Dolphins 1-12. I called it. I called the upset. Dolphins. They won 13 plus. And
They
I said
pumped them.
Katoa anytime. Katoa scored the first try.
He did.
Isaiah Katoa. I had Katoa.
Who did I have in this game? I would
You
have
had
Milita-
Ronaldo,
Yeah, of
which you
course I
got.
did.
But you had Sharks 1-12. Remember last week I said Katoa and you were like, which one?
Yeah.
Should have said Isaiah.
Yeah.
Scored the first try, but yeah. Wayne Bennett's 900th. It was literally painted on the field. I know there was a lot of controversy throughout the week with Wayne Bennett claiming it's not his 900th because he coached all the games like before NRL era. But the NRL were calling it his 900th. And if that wasn't an omen, were Dolphins ever going to lose Wayne Bennett's
That was
900 at
just-
Suncorp?
Is it time to stop calling Dolphins wins upsets?
I don't think so. Not
I
in
think
that
it
aspect.
is, because
not
I
a
think-
game against the second place Sharks though.
Well, yeah, that one, but
But,
I
like,
don't.
not every week.
I don't think you can call them upsets anymore because they're actually a good side, and
Like
they.
if-
I think they're playing finals this year.
Like if they come out and beat like Manly, that's not an upset.
No, not.
But like if they're beating Broncos, Rabbits, Panthers, Sharks, it's an upset. I think.
They're
Yeah,
playing. I think they're playing
finals.
finals, which is so crazy to think.
I was
Oh.
thinking about that on the way home as well. I was like, man, it sucks knowing that my team is literally not as good as the new team.
Yeah.
Like that's fat.
No,
Bulldogs
who's
aren't as
had
good as
18
Dolphins.
months, and you see the
Yeah.
AFL getting this new side who's not
4
coming into
years or something,
2028.
yeah.
NRL will have another team.
And they're
by
getting
then.
like an extra however million in the salary cap.
the
Apparently,
AFL side.
Yeah, and they're allowed to sign players who
that's-
aren't even off contract.
That's the issue. That's what they did when GWS got brought
Yeah.
in. That's why everyone hates the Giants because they
Yeah.
got all these salary cap
And they're doing it
exemptions,
again.
and they became too good too quickly. Even
Yeah.
though they didn't win a comp, they
Yeah.
they'll last for like their first 2 years and they'll top four. Like it's so that could happen with this Tasmanian team. But while we're here, let's talk about what do you reckon it should be called?
Mate.
There's the popular names are Tassie Devils, but there's already a Demons, so
I
they
was
don't know
gonna
if they'll
say-
do that. Tasmanian
Well,
Tigers
the problem with
already a
Tasmanian
Tigers.
Devils was that Warner Brothers have the licensing. Like they own
Yeah.
the rights to the name because of the Looney Tunes
Yeah.
character. But I think
Well,
Tasmanian
they could just change it and
Devils
say
is what it
Hobart
should be.
Devils. Hobart Devils.
Yeah,
like,
but it just doesn't have the right.
But the thing
ring
is,
to
there's
it.
a Demons side in the AFL.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
who my
too
mum
similar.
goes
Same
for.
with the
Shout out
Tigers. They
to
can't do Tigers.
But I still think you can do Devils and Demons.
Yeah.
I know it's sort of
The other
similar.
names they get tossed up are the Islanders,
I don't-
the Salmons,
The Salmons.
the Toads, the Titans. Like there's names like that.
I don't know. Hey,
I think apparently the Salmons is the favourite.
the Salmons.
Yeah.
The Tasmania. It doesn't even sound.
Well, it might not even be Tasmania. It might be Hobart Salmons.
That
Like
still
something
doesn't.
like that.
That's like I like it when it's like TT or HH.
Yeah, it's same.
That's like it needs to, or it has to have like it has to have like alliteration or
Yeah,
something.
Hobart Salmons. Like
It just doesn't sound that good to me. But I can't like obviously the cricket team's like Hobart Hurricanes. Like I don't know. I can't think. I like Tasmanian Devils.
well, there's the Jack Jumpers in the
Tasmanian
NBL. The Jack Jumpers.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, hey.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Tigers. but they've
Hornets
already
is
got
the
a
other one
Tigers.
that they're
Well,
putting
I
up.
don't
Hornets.
Hobart Hornets.
Yeah,
I
cool.
like that.
Yeah, there we go.
I like
Hobart
Hobart
Hornets.
Hornets.
Hobart Hornets for the AFL.
There you go.
That's
we'll
the name.
We'll call
There
it
we go.
now. Lock it in.
Yeah.
Hobart Hornets. I actually like that.
That works
I'll get
very
around
well.
that.
Yeah.
Because that's like nobody is like a B mascot.
We don't have
either,
like
but
a
it makes
hornet
sense.
over in this country.
That's what I mean. Like in any of our sports. But I know in America, like there's like college teams and stuff that are got hornets.
Yeah.
So I like it.
Yeah, it's a
Lock
good
that
one.
in.
There we go.
That's our
Not the
AFL segment
salmons.
done.
Yeah.
That's 2 weeks in a row.
discussion.
AFL segment.
But back to the Dolphins.
Yeah, as I was saying, Wayne Bennett's 900th at Suncorp Stadium. Were they ever going to lose that game, honestly?
No,
I remember.
did not expect it. I did not think about really during the week.
Yeah.
But, hey,
Well, I was about to say, I was sitting there before the game with the people I was with, and we were like placing our bets. Shout out to Picklebet, use code HOTDOG. We were placing our bets on the game, like Sharks, Dolphins, because I just got like a bet return or something. But I was like, where do I put my money? And I jumped on the Sharks 13 plus. And then I was like, oh, maybe it'll be fun to like ride the Dolphins. So then I switched to the Dolphins. And then I was like, nah, I want to make money. So I switched back to the Sharks, placed my bet. And then we sort of went, oh, it's Wayne Bennett's 900th. They're not losing this game. Like at Suncorp Stadium, they got Valence Tervale, who's like debuting. And he's like...
And that was probably the greatest debut I've ever seen.
How good was he? And then obviously
massive.
Dolphins going to win the game.
Massive. He's like a rhino.
He's huge. He's like Talakai.
Yeah.
He's massive. He was bigger than Talakai.
Yeah.
I actually got on him 2 or more try scorers.
You did.
I got hit. This is so good. So like we were placing our bets, and I was like trying to think of a good bet. And so half jokingly but half serious, I was like, oh, Valence Tervale, he wasn't named to start this week. He's probably a bit of value. Him to score 2 tries, why not? And then I basically got everyone in my row to get on it. Everyone in front of me got on it. Everyone behind me got on this bet. And then we were just riding it home, and obviously he scored 2 tries. And everyone was just like, you're a genius. So shout out to Valence.
Sharks
call him
just
Meninga.
Oh, yeah. But Sharks just couldn't get into this.
I think they were just blown off.
They were. Like, Hines had a rubbish game.
Yeah, he did.
I know it wasn't raining, but like Hines
his hair
that
wasn't
was
wet,
terrible.
yeah.
How much fantasy points did he get?
No, he was my captain, and he did not score very well. He scored like 30 maybe.
I'll have a look.
But yeah, I
didn't
it's
think
sort of
he
like
would.
how we say with the Cowboys, teams are ready to play them. It's like Sharks just weren't ready for the Dolphins.
Yeah,
and as soon as they came out flying, the Sharks just
Dolphins play like that every week.
shell-shocked.
They're finishing top 4.
They were so good. And that's the thing. It wasn't even Sharks were bad. Dolphins were just that good.
Hines got 37.
Yeah, that's not up to his standard. He usually puts up 60 or 70 for reference, or 80 even.
Yeah.
They were just so good, the Dolphins.
They were.
And I don't know, was it the occasion that Wayne Bennett's 900th, their first ever Magic Round at Suncorp in front of a massive crowd?
Like Buzz's reaction the other day, because Buzz is a Sharks fan. He was just, like he said, a franchise that's never been started, like, is unheard of. And then straight after, he's like, I know the Storm did it and the Broncos did it, but it's not unheard of then, but it is.
What's that?
It is how they've managed to do this. Last year, they could sign no one.
Yeah.
They signed old forwards and players that
they were offering
no other club
people
wanted.
like $1.5 million, and they wouldn't sign. Like Ponga.
People
Munster,
will sign now after this season. They'll sign someone big.
Yeah. Easily, because they're attractive now.
Just old forwards and unwanted players from other clubs. Yeah. And they're all killing it. Like, it's unbelievable.
I know. It is Wayne Bennett.
He is the marquee sign.
He's the greatest coach of all time. There's no doubt about it now.
He's proved it now. If they make the 8 as well. And
like, it's just...
Or would you compare it with Buzz? Right now, it's his greatest feat.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, that's what Buzz seems to believe.
I know. I saw him say
early part of this season is his greatest feat of all time.
You can't say that. Like, because he won a comp with the Broncos.
He's won
early
7 or so, hasn't he?
Yeah.
No.
And I'll tell you what he's.
I think if they go deep in the finals, then you could probably say
if they win the comp this year, sure.
If that happens, if they win the comp, that is the greatest moment in sport.
I was going to say that's the greatest rugby league moment.
Not even rugby league, sporting.
Sport, yeah.
A new team.
It's up there, bro.
Came in with no star player, wins the comp.
Well, I was going to say his best moment for me is Origin 2020.
Oh yeah,
that's essentially what he's doing. But in the NRL, where there's 16 other teams to compete with, like it's just a team of nobodies, and he just coaches them to being good somehow. Like there's not many coaches that with that roster do what he's doing.
Yeah,
there just isn't.
No, it would not have happened.
Like I think, look at literally half the other teams: the Dragons, the Tigers, the Bulldogs, arguably better rosters.
Yeah,
they're not doing as good, and they've been around for 80 years. It's just like there's culture at those clubs. There's no culture at the Dolphins. They're building their culture.
Yeah, it's just like
incredible.
They've got more culture than some
They're making their garbage jersey look good. That's how good they're playing.
I know.
You sort of look at the jersey, you go, hang on, that's not even that bad.
Like you look at the Dolphins, you're like, early in the year when you saw you're playing them, you're like, easy win. But now you're like, oh dear, we got the Dolphins. Even though South have already played them this year, we don't play them again. But
true.
Still, you'd look at them and be like, oh no, I don't want to play them.
Well, we play them late in the year, and at the start of the year when I went over the Bulldogs season, what we're going to win, what we're going to lose, I'm like, oh yeah,
like, they've had those fluky games. There was that one against the Dragons where they got pumped. There was that game against South where they got pumped. The first half of that Titans game, which they shouldn't have won, but they did. But
I'm looking at the Dolphins game, and I'm like, I don't think we win that game.
Yeah.
Like they're a good team. Not a good roster. I'm still happy to sit here and say their roster's still not good.
Oh, it isn't, but they're
a
playing
good team.
They're playing at their best. Like Asako at the Titans was just garbage last year. He was in reserve
moved
grade.
from the Broncos to the Titans.
Well, I think he signed with the Dolphins, but the Broncos released him, so he had a year off. So
nobody wanted him.
I'll go to the Titans, make a bit of money, even though I don't give a crap.
If Dolphins didn't come in, he probably would have had to retire.
Yeah.
Like, nobody wanted him.
And
now he's the top point scorer, the top goal kicker, and arguably the most informed winger of the comp. It's insane. You look at Isaiah Katoa, the 18-year-old who'd never played NRL.
And everyone was so worried for him.
There was plenty of hype about him, but I personally, I'd seen him playing reserve, not even reserve grade, but like in juniors for Panthers, and I was like, he's not ready. He played for Tonga and stuff, but I thought he wasn't ready. And he's killing it. It's either him or Jacob Preston for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
And Jacob Preston's having an insane season. Like, it's just incredible what they've done. Anthony Milford, he's killing it. Like, he's going pretty good. Cody Nikorima.
Milford?
Yeah, Milford's going all right. I thought he had a good game on the weekend at least. He's not killing
Cody
it as much as Cody
Nikorima. He is like...
he's playing as good as we all hoped he would play 10 years, or not 10 years ago, but like at South, he was horrible, right?
Yeah.
And now he's killing it. Like, Sean O'Sullivan's out. How does he get back into this side?
Oh, I don't know. He will be.
Like, he will get back into it.
I think Nikorima will go, but...
But Nikorima's playing good enough to hold on to a spot.
Yeah.
Look at like Valence Vale. He's not like in the side.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do about him?
I'd have him there over Branko Lee.
Yeah, definitely.
I've never been a fan of Branko Lee, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's a lot of people who rave on about him, saying he's underrated, but I just don't rate him too much.
You can't drop Val Meninga.
Yeah.
He's such a good dude.
He could be I know it's a bit late now. He could be a shout for Rookie of the Year if he plays the rest of the season.
Yeah. If he plays like how he did play.
Yeah, which it won't happen every game, but
I just don't like, because he's been hyped up for a while. I assume you knew who he was.
I've heard of him. He's like a Dolphins junior as well.
Well, he actually only started playing rugby league last year.
I know.
But he came from Union into the Dolphins system. You watched the documentary, didn't you?
On the Dolphins, yes.
And like, he's a groundskeeper at KO Stadium. Like, his whole life is the Dolphins. And he came into NRL and he was hyped as. But when has a player ever been that hyped and then come on to the scene, debut game, and lived up to the hype straight away? Like, it was just incredible. Shout out to the Dolphins.
Yeah, they're looking good.
They're looking very good. All right, let's move on to Storm South. What's funny, Zane?
Nothing.
All right. I assume you're laughing because of how good Souths have been. Now, I said to you on Saturday night, Zane, after you sent me some interesting voice notes, we won't touch on your voice notes to me. That can be that's like OnlyFans exclusive. We'll put your voice notes up on. Not that they were like inappropriate or anything in that sense, but that's exclusive content. Talk to me about the South. I said to you
that was the best defensive game they've ever played, in my opinion.
Bang, he said it.
They were... I was drinking a lot during this game, so I couldn't pay attention. I watched the highlights in the morning. I didn't know if my YouTube speed was up, just how fast they were. Like, I looked, I'm like, it's not up. They're actually playing this fast. They're playing finals footy this early.
It felt like finals footy.
Brings me to this point.
I think you're going to say it brings a tear to your eye.
No.
Just leave it, bro.
Are South peaking too early? And that's what we're talking about at Sneakies. Are they peaking too early? That's what I'm worried about.
The thing is, you can peak this early and then
this is not South peaking.
And peak again,
if they're not peaking at the moment, they're winning the comp. I don't know how they're going to play at the end of the year.
I don't think they're peaking too early because there's still time to unpeak and then re-peak.
Yeah.
So I don't think so.
Their next 10 weeks, they could win 15 in a row. Realistically, they should.
Yeah,
knowing South, they will bomb one of these simple games.
Was it Broncos or someone? There was like the draw you showed me. It was like there was only one or two questions.
No, their next 10 games, I can try and remember off the top of my head. Tigers this week. Parramatta, Raiders, then I think maybe the bye. I think it is the bye after that. Right. Then we got sides like Bulldogs, Warriors, and beatable. Titans we've got coming up. Like, they've got all winnable games. I know it's in Origin period as well.
It's winnable, but
yeah.
I said to you, I think they're the premiership favourites. I don't think
They have
anyone
to
will
be.
doubt
And they're
that.
$4.50 now. Penrith for $4.20.
So they're not favourites according to Pickle Bet. I assume those
Pickle
odds
Bet,
are.
yeah.
Those are Pickle Bet odds. But me personally, they're the favourites. They're the form team of the comp, and they should be favourites.
And they're beating all these top teams. And that was just incredible. Like, that
was a
scoreline
clean-
didn't sum it up.
Storm weren't in that game.
No, well, South didn't let him in. Their defence was... Johnston finally got some tries.
Yeah, he finally
got some tries.
Finally.
And Campbell Graham had a more quiet game, but he was still a gun.
good.
Like that first tackle of the game
Yeah.
he made.
And Troll was on, Walker was on, Cookie was on.
Walker's in career best form.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Career
argue
best
with that.
form.
I was thinking, Freddie Fittler's out there watching this. Does he sneak into the Origin
Walker, I know.
squad?
That's the question. People don't want him there because people don't like him.
I don't want him there because I just don't
He's
think
the
he should be
form
picked.
5'8" of the competition.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, he
we've
is.
seen him play Origin. Has he had his chance there?
Yeah, that's what I wouldn't pick him in Origin.
Yeah, neither
don't
would
think
I.
he suits the
I think I'm being biased there,
layout.
but I wouldn't.
Yeah. I think it's got to be Hines and Burden 6 and 14. I'm going Burden
I don't-
over
yeah, I don't
Walker.
know about Burden,
Not
though,
because
that's
he's
the
in
thing.
more form or
I'd
anything.
still have Luai
just
ahead of
utility value. That's the only
Yeah.
thing.
But
Or
I think
Luai and
if
Hines.
Walker made the side, he'd be the starting 5'8", and Hines would be the 14.
If Luai gets dropped, I'd go Hines Burden.
I think if you're going to put Walker in, you'd start him at 6. And
You can't
Hines,
have Walker off the bench.
Yeah,
You have to
exactly.
start Walker and have Hines off the bench.
Walker can play fullback, but if he played Origin, he wouldn't.
I
That's the thing.
just wouldn't pick him.
Yeah.
And then I just don't see the point of him being in the squad if he's not in the 17.
Yeah.
I guess as a backup, but yeah.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't, but I feel like
I feel like he
Freddie-
can make the squad, though.
I'll give you a hot take. He'll get picked.
Well, Freddie likes him. Freddie
yeah.
picked him pre-season for the Dally M,
Yeah.
which is looking... I bagged him for
Yeah.
that. I'm like, Walker, Dally M, but he's looking likely
As
he
if
can get it.
Latrell steals points.
Well, he's been
Graham.
taking Latrell's points.
Yeah.
He's going to be a very, very good chance. If he doesn't play Origin as well, the two people ahead of him, Payne Haas, Reece Walsh,
In Origin.
and around him's all Origin players.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a good chance
Well, yeah,
Walker
as I
could win
said,
it this year.
my hot take, Walker gets picked in Origin. I wouldn't pick him in Origin, but my hot take is Freddie's going to pick him.
Yeah, somewhere in the squad.
Yeah.
Just
I
maybe
have
a
he's
reserve.
in pretty good form.
He is. Career best.
Yeah.
The best he's ever played.
Yeah. Well, I think it was 21.
21 he was good, but I think he's been better.
So that was his previous career best form. And yeah, he's killing it. And Latrell, you could almost argue he's in career best form.
Well, he said himself he isn't playing to his best yet. He said he's not at his
That's so
best yet.
scary. That is scary.
He said,
could be
I'm not
making
at my
it up,
best
but-
yet. He's like, I've still got more in
That's
me.
cliche, but at the same time, you almost half believe him.
Yeah.
Because he can be even more
When
involved
you
than
don't,
he is.
if you've never watched him live in person, you don't understand how good he actually
How
is.
scary he is.
Oh, it's not even that. Just he doesn't look like he's trying a lot
Yeah.
of the times. And he just bang,
I'll
bang,
tell you
and
what,
his
just back to
passes are
Cody-
so good.
Back to Cody Walker. I want to give him a shout out because where I was sitting was right next to the tunnel and all the South players sort of came out
Okay.
to watch. And I hate Cody Walker and Latrell. They're both grubs. But Cody Walker took time out of his pre-game prep to sign
Shirts
jerseys
and
and
that.
football and take photos. I was very impressed with Cody Walker.
Yeah, well,
It was him and Damien Cook.
he's very good at that.
Yeah.
He won the award for best community.
Yeah.
He does a lot.
I
for the
never
community.
realised that, eh?
They flew up to Queensland, Latrell and Cody a few days earlier
Yeah.
to do some
Yeah.
go to schools and that.
yeah, no, I respect that, eh? Him and Damien Cook from
You go and
Rabbitohs.
see him or?
No, I didn't see him.
Oh, you just.
Well, I
watched
only
them?
went up Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've no interest in meeting them.
But I was
Yeah.
there, I'd have been shoving all the kids.
Did you see the video of all the kids running behind
Yeah.
Jason?
Oh yeah, Dimitri.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did
in the
know. If I was in
interview,
your
that's you, bro.
situation there, where they're standing
Oh,
right there, I
yeah.
would have pushed all the 8-year-olds out the way. I would have just ran
there was,
down
there was a
there.
massive queue to Cookie because Cook was signing stuff on my side of the tunnel and Walker was on the other
Yeah.
side. But yeah, I went and got a photo with Cam Smith.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw that, and because he
I think I did,
photos.
actually.
And I was like, I can't not get a photo with him.
Cam Smith.
He's the goat in my opinion. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm not passing up a photo with Cam Smith. But yeah, Cookie, I was like
Whatever.
I
He's a
like
Bulldogs
I like
legend.
Cookie.
Bulldogs
He's a
legend,
Bulldogs
yeah.
legend. But it's not like someone you just because of the line of people. I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't
I
want
can't
to
be bothered.
Imagine he takes a photo with you when there's a little Rabbitohs fan behind you, and then he leaves.
Yeah.
And you're the reason the little Rabbitohs kid didn't. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll just let everyone.
Yeah,
know.
that's how I feel sometimes
Yeah.
when I line up. I'm like, I'll let him in.
Yeah.
And
If it was a Bulldogs player,
a lot of the times, they go, especially at Ackle, they go to every part of the ground where I'm not at.
I swear,
that Thursday Panthers Rabbits game, they're everywhere around the ground except for my corner.
And you're in the borough, right?
Yeah, except for my corner.
It's the same at Bulldog games where they go to everywhere except the kennel.
There's been games where I see them, then I go to walk around, then they leave. I'm like,
I hate it.
It's annoying.
I don't understand why the area they're not coming to is like their borough.
The only time I've been up close,
should be going.
The only times I've been up close with players after games was after the Storm Rabbits game, and it was Storm players, and I was pretty bitter at them, so I couldn't be bothered talking to them, but like they're right in front of me. And they were talking to me, like they were talking to me and Hainsey, but I was just like,
you didn't care.
Go on, whatever.
I'll tell you who I met, just a bit off topic, but it's on topic, but off topic of the game. We'll come back to the game. I was walking around Brisbane on the Friday, like the CBD, and I'd seen on the Bulldogs Instagram that the Bulldog players were walking around there like that morning, like before I got there. And so basically the way I walked around Brisbane was like, all right, I've got the Bulldogs Instagram. I'm just going to go like look at all the touristy stuff they did, because that's probably like what you should do. Yeah. That was like my tourist guide. I'm like, all right, go to the War Memorial because that's where they were. And anyway, I was walking around Queen Street Mall where all the shops were, and I saw Carl Oluwapu and Tavita Pangai Jr. walked past me. Oh, and because I had seen what they were wearing in the Bulldogs photos. Yeah, and then obviously
did you have your dog's gear on?
Yeah, I had my doggy's 13 plus jumper on.
Oh, okay.
And then obviously for some reason when you see, I don't know if you'd agree with this, but when you see a footy player in public, they sort of like, there's just something about them.
Yeah, you're like hey,
their presence about it, you're like, oh, that's someone. Like I was telling you, I think I told you the other day, Sloan walked past my work. Oh, yeah. And like I didn't recognize him straight away, but it's like, that's a footy, you just know.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I saw him.
They all dress very similar, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. And so they walked past me. I was like walking into a shop and they walked past me. And I was like, bro, that's like Tavita and Carl.
Yeah.
And so then I was like,
should have had your dog's jersey on. They might have.
Yeah, I had that underneath. But then I was like, I kind of want to see Carl because like he's the new kid on the block.
He's younger than me.
Yeah, he's 18.
I feel old now that there's people.
He's bigger than Tavita.
Like I feel like
you feel old.
People my age who are now getting in the NRL. He's 12 days younger than me. I'm like,
only 12 days.
I can't believe
he's like
this.
3 years younger than me.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's bigger than Tavita. That's another thing I noticed.
Oh,
but
wow.
Anyway, they were walking down that way, and I was like, I might just like trail them and see if they stop for like a photo if somebody recognizes them, because then like I'll jump in and like get a photo or whatever. So I sort of trailed them into a shop. They went into a shop that I was going to go into anyway. So I was like, all right, I'll walk into the shop. I swear I wasn't stalking them. I wasn't being creepy or anything. But then somebody stopped Tavita for a photo, and then Carl like walked into the shop and like went and said hi to the staff. It was JD Sport. He must have like known the workers. Yeah. And so I was like, all right, cool. This is my opportunity. I'll go like talk to Carl. So I like went over and said hey to him and just had like a chat with him. And yeah, that's what I made him. I had a chat with him. I didn't get a photo, but I just like talked with him.
For how long?
For like a couple of minutes, maybe. Like I just like, I welcomed him to the club. I was like, just like welcome to the club. And then I was like, I don't know why I'm welcoming you. It's like, that's not my job.
Like, what about Tavita? Was he just outside?
So yeah, he was just outside. Like I think a bunch of people started taking photos with him. But yeah, I was just like, good luck. It's good to see you in first grade. And then I realized afterwards though, for ages, ever since we signed him, you know, he had the ice cream saga.
Yeah.
I've always told myself when I meet him, I'm going to ask him what type of ice cream did you have, and I forgot to ask him. So I'm so mad at myself for not asking like what ice cream he had. But next time I meet you, Carl, I'm asking you what ice cream you had. But yeah, that was my story of meeting Carl Oluwapu.
There we go.
Let's go back to the South Storm game.
Souths are just incredible.
Would you say they're favourites to win the comp?
Yes, they have to be.
Unbiasedly?
They have to be. Even unbiasedly, they have to be favourites.
I think it really could be.
I think Cameron Murray's injured as well.
Yeah,
and I noticed it in the Broncos game. He looks like
so
he's
you reckon for a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I've been noticed. He looks like but he's Cameron Murray. He just doesn't care. He rips in and just but I'm a bit worried that he's injured and they're trying to hide it. But you know, but like Cook's back to his best. He's locked in the 9 jersey.
Yeah, he'll be definitely. Yeah. I'm almost like I'm proud of Cook, which sounds weird, but. Like, he got left out of the Australian squad.
Yeah, I know, and I think that's what's driven him.
Was he 14 in Origin? And
he was in the first... He started the first game, but then he
got moved to 14.
Yeah.
Like, he was on his way out of Origin.
Yeah.
And instead of
just
giving up, he's come out and said, nah, that's my spot. And I think if there was an Australian spot... I guess Harry Grant. I still have Harry Grant stay ahead, but like maybe he gets in the squad. I guess.
Yeah,
but definitely
he's not that top
Wales.
tier hooker like he used to be anymore. Like Grant and
my point is like he hasn't just given up on life. He said, "Nah, that's my spot. I'm going to keep playing." and he's playing really, really
He
good.
is.
And
He's not like breaking the line every time he runs the ball anymore like he used to. Like he
Yeah.
gets shut down a lot better now, but like
Yeah,
he's
people
still like his
expect it.
defense is.
like lock him into Origin.
Yeah, he'll be there.
Surely.
Yeah,
I love Cookie as well. He's just an easy person to like, I think.
yeah.
I don't know if it's because he's an ex-Bulldogs player or like.
Yeah.
He's just got a good story as well, though. Like
Yeah.
leaving a club that didn't appreciate him and then making a name for himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you said, he used to play like fullback and stuff for the Rabbitohs.
Yeah, no, he'd play 14, and then they'd bring him on to like wild
Yeah.
positions, and you're just like, why is he not starting as hooker?
Yeah.
Like he is literally would be the best hooker in the game if he was starting,
Yeah.
and then the year he starts his Origin below.
Yeah.
I think
thought he was
I
gonna
think
win
they
the Dally
wanted
M.
to pick him for years before, but they couldn't because he was a 14. They're like, we
Yeah.
can't pick him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
The Storm. I don't, like,
I'm
I
not
don't have
writing
that
them
much
off
to
yet.
say.
You can't.
They just hit and miss.
like you watch them
They
come
have
out
good
now
games
and
and
win
bad
like
games.
6 in a row.
Yeah.
Like it's, I don't know.
And like you
Like,
got to
they'll
keep
have a
him
really
on.
good-
Pappenhausen, he's still out.
They'll have a really good win soon, and then they'll just have another weird loss like that.
I think they'll
like-
be in the 8.
They'll be in the 8, yeah.
I've
There's no-
seen people saying like they're going to miss out. I'm like, surely
Nah,
not.
there's no way in Bellamy's last year either. They'll miss
Yeah.
it. Like they'll.
And they'll have a big finals run, I think. I could see them having a big finals run off the back of it.
Yeah,
Just
you're
being
right.
Bellamy's year.
Don't say that though.
Yeah.
I'm just.
I know you don't want to hear
I'm
that. but-
stressed for the finals.
And
Like,
it's like Panthers, they look like they might time their run perfectly.
yeah, exactly.
That's gonna be a good
That's why I'm
final
worried that
series.
Souths are peaking too early in the year.
Like there are teams that can beat South. But
Yeah,
also
I
when
know.
Souths are playing at their absolute best, there isn't really anyone that can beat
Yeah, but
them.
that's the thing. Like, I'm going to take all these wins now as it comes,
Yeah.
but I'm going to get really stressed towards the end of the year.
I can
I-
sense you getting stressed already.
Yeah, I think the prelim final is going to be our hurdle this year again.
Yeah.
I honestly think it will be, and I
No
don't
matter who
want
it's
to. I
against.
just got demons from them. I really hope it
Like
isn't.
it could be against Broncos
But
against
at the
Adam
same time, every year I've
Reynolds.
had confidence they'd make the grand final. They have. 2021 was
Yeah.
the last year I was this confident, and they made
Do you
it.
still feel Sharks Souths? You know, like obviously you sort of have to stick with it.
I'm
'cause you
sticking
called
with
but
it.
like,
Yeah, I'm saying the
like, are you a bit-
Sharks can. They
They
can
can time
do it.
their run as
yeah,
well.
they can make. I don't know about Broncos though.
If you ignore what happened on the weekend, the Sharks are still fine.
Yeah.
But then you watch them get pumped. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's not good.
yeah, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
All right, well,
very-
let's move
yeah.
on to something that might cheer you up a bit, Zane. The Tigers and the Dragons.
Oh, yeah, what a game.
What if this isn't peak rugby league? I'm not here. I said
Think
Dragons
game of the
would-
season so far.
Game of the season. I said Dragons 1-12. Actually, before we do that, in the previous game, you said Souths 1-12 and Graham.
He didn't
Doubted
score.
you boys. They won 13
Johnston,
plus.
why did I not pick him?
And yeah, Graham didn't even score. And I said Storm 1-12. And then in this game, I said Dragons 1-12.
Yeah.
And I said Buller, who didn't score a try, but he saved one of the. Like he had one of the best try
Moses
savers
Sully,
of
what
the
were you
years.
thinking?
And then Tigers.
He's got a
13
worse flick
plus
pass than Zach
Brooks.
Lomax.
Let's talk about that play
Oh,
from the start to
that
the
was
finish.
hilarious to watch at Sneakies with all those Dragons blokes.
I was watching it at the airport on my phone. I was like going off at my phone.
Yeah, that was
People would have been looking at
hilarious
me.
to see. It was so funny. Everyone's reaction to that.
Did you say there was Dragons fans
Yeah,
there? Oh.
Moe and all that. Like they just lost it.
Oh. It all started, so they throw the pass and it hits the deck.
Why didn't Sully go himself? He would have got
Yeah,
there.
but even before that, they throw the ball to no one off the dummy half.
Yeah.
Throws it to Ben Hunt and misses. And then Ben Hunt just kicks it.
Yeah.
And then somehow got just like in Origin, he just got like a good bounce, got the ball back. And then I think he threw it out the back to no one.
Yeah.
Sloan appears out of nowhere, gets it. He's dead set, got a 5 or 6 on
Yeah.
2 overlap. If he goes through the hands, they score.
Yeah, I know.
He throws a cutout ball straight to Moses Sully and turns it into a 2-on-2.
Yeah, and Sully would have scored if he kept running.
And then Sully, he cuts in. He could have scored if he went
he was
outside.
over the line.
And then he could have scored if he went outside. He cut back in and then still got over the line. Like he would have scored.
throws it-
And then flicks it out the back to no one.
The
Ravalara gets
I
it
feel
and then
bad
gets
for the
jammed
Tigers
into
because of
touch.
how bad the Dragons have been. It's overshadowing that they've won 2 in a row now.
Yeah, and off a bye as well.
And they
And the
played
two-
really good.
The 2 weeks
Tigers.
before the bye, they were all right as well.
They-
like against Manly.
They played really good in this game, Tigers.
Brooks
I'm nervous for
Brooks
this
is
week. Like
looking good.
they've played really good in that game.
They're paying $5.50. Shout out to Picklebet. To
and
beat
Sullivan,
South.
why is he not starting
They're a
this
bigger
week?
chance, the Tigers, to beat
No,
South.
no,
than
they're
we-
not.
I'm not saying they're going to beat you guys, but they deserve more respect than
They should be
get.
$100. It won't happen. But why is Sullivan not starting for the Dragons?
Don't even get me started on the Dragons team
No,
selection.
it's just.
Why is Embar still at hooker?
Why is Lomax still out and Sully's still in?
Why are they moving Ben Hunt to hooker mid-game when he came out last week and said he doesn't want to play hooker?
It's just drama.
I thought him and Griffin were the only people that got along.
See the press conference where someone full and bluntly asked Griffin, do you think the Dragons need a new voice? Someone asked Griffin, do you think the Dragons need a new voice in the press conference? And he just didn't know how to answer. He was like, no.
Do you want to know a fun fact? I was informed of this morning by a Dragons fan while we're Dragon bashing. So they played in Brisbane on the weekend. Yeah. They play in North Queensland this weekend. Guess where they're spending their week?
Queensland.
Be more specific. What area? It
Gold
is in
Coast,
Queensland,
isn't it?
Yeah. They're going to the Gold Coast for the week. They're not coming back home at all. There's at least 3 players that are against what they're doing and they want to come home to see their families. Instead of staying in Brisbane for the week or going up to where they're playing, they're going down to the Gold Coast, but not down home. They're going down to the Gold Coast for the week. Explain to me that.
I don't know.
What's the logic there? If you're going to go down, go the extra half an hour flight back to your families.
No,
go up straight to the game. You're doing extra travel for nothing.
I don't know what they're doing. It's just, I don't know if they're trying to unite the team and just make them get along with each other. I'm just like, this is just weird what's going on with this club at the moment.
Yeah.
They're
almost
mess.
the new Tigers.
And I'm almost tempted to say if they lose this game on the weekend, I'm tempted to say they'll get the spoon.
They're looking good for the spoon.
Because they're a side that I've said every year will get the spoon.
They
It's just never happened. But this year is honestly the year it will probably happen.
Did you tip him at the start of the year for the spoon?
I think I did.
Because I did as well. And then to start the year, I was like, oh, they're going all right. And now they've just
not
fallen
really.
off.
They didn't really. They had that fluky win against the Titans.
I thought they looked like they weren't going to get the
Dolphins
spoon.
in that game, but
the way they were playing, I was like, they're not going to get the spoon.
They're not going to win much. They're
But
not going to
now
win
it's
any
like-
more than 8 games this year. They won't win any more than that.
And they've just lost to the Bulldogs, who are 15th, and then the Tigers, who are last. And now they play the Cowboys, who are the other bottom 4 team. If they lose to the Cowboys, they've lost
which
to
I
the
think they
entire
will,
bottom
but-
4 3 weeks in a row. And yeah, I think the Cowboys will get them. It's looking pretty grim for the Dragons.
Their chance to avoid this win spoon is if they beat teams like the Tigers, if they can beat the Cowboys, beat the Bulldogs, sides like that, the Knights, they need to beat.
Yeah, exactly. If they lose to the 3 bottom 4 teams 3 weeks in a row, not only do they fall into last, it makes it very hard to get out of last because you're losing a chance to beat those teams to jump them. You leapfrog teams when you beat teams like that. Like the Tigers, they're jumping up because they're beating the Dragons. It's literally as if the Dragons and the Tigers just swap places.
Yeah.
In the last 2 weeks. The Tigers were the laughing stock of the league.
Now the Dragons
they couldn't get a win. And all of a sudden it's the Dragons.
Terrible. The way they're playing is terrible as well.
Yeah, they just don't look good. I thought Sullivan was good on the weekend.
Yeah, he was great.
Let's talk
and
about
he
the
should be
positives.
starting.
He was great.
He should be starting.
And Hunt at 9, he's good. He doesn't want to play there, which is the problem. But if you take away that, he is a good 9. And I think it can work with him at 9, Sullivan at 7, and Moan at 6.
Yeah.
And do that.
Work.
Blood them in. Get them that experience.
They play Sullivan at 9 a few times, which I don't think that's his position.
Yeah,
he's a half.
He was so good at 7. He scored 2 tries. He scored as soon as he came on. Just leave him there for the season, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Just move Hunt on. Let him leave.
Yeah.
Release him to the Bulldogs. We all want it to happen.
But yeah, after this game is when the heavens opened out of nowhere. I didn't even notice this happened until later on. Yeah.
Well, I never found out about it because I literally got on the plane as soon as that game ended to fly home. So I completely missed the Roosters Cowboys game. Shall we move to Roosters Cowboys?
Yes, it was very interesting. It was very good to watch as well.
Tell me about that game because I haven't even watched them.
No one saw it coming, and that was the Cowboys from last year that played.
I saw the Roosters didn't even score their try until the 78th minute.
They didn't. No.
The Cowboys had them. Was it 20-6 in the end? So it would have been 20-0.
Yeah, it was 20-0 at one point.
The Cowboys.
Yeah.
Who
played like they did last year.
Yeah.
They was
legitimately, they literally just played like they did last year.
The Roosters just didn't show up. Think it'd be an easy game because, the Roosters believe in themselves that they're better than everyone. And the Cowboys just... Again, the scoreline didn't sum this game up. Cowboys had a few robbed tries off them, but the Roosters...
So you reckon it should have been more?
Yeah, it should have been.
Wow.
Should have been more like 32, 34. Roosters were just dropping balls every time they had it, just making stupid errors, just offloading at the worst time. It was just...
What was Manu at 5'8" like?
He was good. He's a gun.
Is that the
It wasn't
problem?
necessarily him. It was their outside backs and their forwards that just kept dropping balls.
So Sam Walker coming back into this team doesn't solve their problems? That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
do you think they need to bring Sam Walker back in?
They do.
You think they do?
I think Manu needs to go back out the centre because
I guess that solves the outside backs problem, doesn't it?
Their outside backs just weren't connecting to each other. They were just dropping easy balls.
So Manu's the problem, but not in that he's bad at 5'8", but he needs to be in the outside.
He needs to be on the
backs.
edge, I think.
And I think Tupou's out, hey?
Yeah, he is.
Because it's Suaalii, and then it was Billy Smith, Jackson Paulo, and Corey Allen. Let's be honest.
That backline's not good.
That is not a quality backline at all.
It was terrible.
That's not up to standard. That's not the type of backline you normally see at the Roosters. Obviously, like Suaalii is good, but
is he? He wasn't good on Sunday.
Wasn't he?
No.
Oh, there you go.
Ever since he signed that rugby deal, he seemed to have just switched off mentally.
He might be leaving early.
Yeah, well, he's just switched off.
Shocking.
Since signing that.
Can you believe that he switched off?
Yeah.
Who would have thought that would happen?
I think he's thinking about what he's going to be spending all that money on.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
Just let him
He
leave.
was not good. Like, he didn't make stupid errors, but he was just he's not like running with, like, he just doesn't seem as interested as what he used to be.
You reckon he's not playing Origin? Like, if he's playing bad?
Fittler says his name every single opportunity he gets, so he could, but, you know, if he wasn't playing for the Roosters,
If you think like...
if he wasn't playing for the Roosters, he wouldn't be.
Yeah, there you go. But you think he'll get picked purely because, like, Freddie likes him?
Yeah.
Like, if he gets picked, it's one of Freddie's weird picks, you reckon?
Yeah, it will be.
It's not like he's playing good enough to be in it.
Yeah. He shouldn't be, but he will be, probably.
Yeah.
That's what I can say.
Who was good from the Cowboys? Who stood out?
Chad Townsend, surprisingly, played really well. He controlled the team very well. Just their players from last year who stood up.
Yeah.
They were all just...
So it was literally just like
Ruben Cotter was outstanding.
Yeah, he
Murray
scored a
Tuilagi,
try.
outstanding. Like,
How good. Good on
so
him.
are they back, the Cowboys?
Are they? You tell me. I didn't
I don't
watch
know.
them.
I don't know.
Could be.
I think it might be too late.
Did you
for him.
Did you say
I did rule them out.
you did rule them out?
No,
That's
I didn't actually.
The thing is, though,
I only ruled out Dragons, Bulldogs,
yeah, I was going
Tigers.
to say, I think I said I'd rule him out, and I was about to say, like, it is almost too late. It's like the Bulldogs, like, that's just you got to win the early.
I don't know
games.
if they can beat those top elite
You
teams.
can be
That's
good
the
at the end
thing.
of the season, but if you've lost crucial games early in the season, they come back to haunt you. And I think that's the case with the Cowboys. Like the early season losses to the Bulldogs, even like the Sharks game, like that'll come back to haunt them.
It will.
Because like they're low on the ladder.
They are very low.
Like they're bottom 4 still. They're below the Knights even.
Wow.
And the Knights you'd almost say are a bottom 4 team, right?
Yeah.
Like they probably will be. The only thing keeping them out of the bottom 4 is that draw with Manly.
And that's really helpful. Like they don't have to worry about for and against anymore.
Yeah, the Cowboys are on the same amount of points as Eels, Bulldogs, 1 point behind Knights, and then their for and against is 80 worse than the Eels and 30 better than the Bulldogs.
Right.
And then they're like Eels, Cowboys, Bulldogs are 2 points ahead of last, but 4 points, 2 wins behind third.
Yeah, so that's just how close it is, though. So, you know, it is what it is.
Speaking of Eels being equal with Cowboys and Bulldogs, what did you make of the Eels-Titans game?
I remember my predictions. I said, I think Titans can win. I want Titans to win, so I'm tipping the Eels. Because every time I don't tip the Titans, they win. Every time I tip them, they lose. And it's going to keep going. So if I want the Titans to win, I won't tip them.
We said we were going
When South's playing, I'm tipping the Titans.
We said we were going to break a curse one way or another because I had the thing where when I tipped the Eels, they lose.
We did.
I tipped the Titans, which this year would normally mean Eels win, but they lost. So
and they nearly
broken.
won. The Titans nearly did it again.
Yeah.
They got lucky in the end, but I'm glad Titans won this game. I really am high on the Titans. They're 7th at the moment. And if they won that game against the Dolphins, they'd be nearly top 4, would they?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to have a look. Like, if they had not blew that game against the Dolphins.
If they beat the Dolphins, they would be equal second.
BKR, hear that? They could be
They would
top
be
4 if they
equal
could
second. Equal second.
So Titans just, you
Because they're
can't,
currently equal third.
I wouldn't call them a fluky team. Like, they're playing.
They're doing all right.
But the only issue I have with them is their attacks. They have a top 8 attack. Their defense is probably bottom 2.
But they're sorting it out slowly.
It's getting better. It was good in this game, but
Yeah.
they still leak a lot of points. So, the issue I have is when they come up against a side with like a strike back line, like the Sharks or the Rabbitohs, it's going to be a problem for them. Like out wide.
They are going under the radar, though. I'd say they're being slept
Yeah,
on.
but
I didn't
people
realise they
have
were
just
that
looked
good.
at them for years, just like, they're there. They'll be like 14th.
Yeah.
But I think they're making the 8 this year.
You said it at the start
I
of the year
said
too.
pre-season, I'd really like
Oh, yeah,
foreign.
Smokey.
Foreign is exactly what they needed.
It's
And
facts,
it's what they
but,
missed
yeah.
last year.
Oh, yeah.
They needed an experienced playmaker, and that's exactly what they've got. Because, like Fogarty, he got him to the 8 in
I was about to say,
2021.
they made the finals with Foggy.
And then they lost him, and then
left,
it was just a debacle the whole of last season. They were just dreadful.
And they got the experienced half that they need back.
He's just absolutely. They need to worry about him not getting injured though. If he gets injured, then they won that game. And Sexton came in against the Dragons that game and got like 70 points in fantasy. So
that's true.
Sexton probably can do it, but
he's a handy backup.
Yeah, backup. But I think he's a bloke who won't be able to do it every week for now. Like he can come in, have one blinding game, and then that'll be it. But I'd like the Titans.
Did you? I
think they can win more than they can lose this year.
Yeah, I watched the game, but I was high on travel sick medicine, so I don't remember it too well. But what did you think of the Eels? Because tell me what you thought about the Eels.
I think they're finished.
You reckon they're finished?
Yeah.
What?
I still think they can make the 8, but premiership wise, they're not winning the comp.
I thought you meant like in terms of the 8.
Oh, I still think they're going to struggle to make it.
What?
You look at their draw.
They are equal with Bulldogs
they're a
and
side that
Cowboys.
can still win these games, but we've been waiting for them to finally click. And like everyone said against the Knights last week, they're finally here, but they're not.
Yeah,
they lost.
Enough.
So
Fair enough.
This week they play the Raiders, which I think they'll probably lose. We'll get to soon.
They have a good record in Canberra.
They do.
I'm tipping the Eels this week. But
then
Moses is
round
out.
12, they go to Trelliance, take on the Railroads, probably going to lose.
Moses is out of that game as
Then
well.
they got the Cowboys, winnable. Then they got the Dogs, winnable. Well, then they got a bye, then the Dogs.
Keep it here. I'll tell you what,
They got the Dogs after a bye.
the Dogs game is the Monday game that the Dogs smacked them last year.
Yeah, it is. But, Then they got Manly, Dolphins, another bye, Warriors.
A lot of those
They
teams,
may
though,
not-
I consider them better than.
Yeah, but they not beating them. They lost to the Titans, which is a game they should have won. They only just beat the Tigers.
I think Moses getting concussed hurt, though.
Yeah, that did hurt him. But
it happened, though. It's not like...
Titans got over him early.
Yeah.
Got over him early.
I don't know. I feel like they're very hot and cold.
You don't. Do you
And
think
if they can-
do you think they make the 8?
I think
And-
they still can.
I think they can as
It
well. I'm not
hurts.
the thing is I'll have a look at the ladder.
Well, that's what I mean. In terms of the
Broncos
ladder,
aren't leaving the 8, even
in
though
terms of the ladder,
even though
they're-
people are joking about Broncos won't leave the 8.
they're in the same boat as Bulldogs and Cowboys. They're on the same amount of points.
I know, and the other
And so it's like, well, if I'm sitting here saying the Bulldogs have to win this week to make the 8,
but the thing
it's
is,
the same
I
for
think
the Eels,
are more
isn't it?
capable of going on a run.
They've got a higher peak.
Broncos aren't leaving the 8. Souths aren't leaving the 8 this year. Panthers aren't leaving. Sharks won't leave. Dolphins, you don't know, but I think they make it. Storm aren't leaving. Roosters will make the 8, even though they're in 8th.
I think
Titans,
Dolphins, Storm, Titans, Roosters, Raiders, Manly.
But you look like
Warriors,
Raiders.
they're all in that mix.
Raiders, I think, can make it. Warriors, I think, can make it. It's going to be tough for them to get there. They need to go on a big run.
They do need to make a run. That's a fair point. As I said, they're on the same amount of points as the Bulldogs.
They
And
need to be
sitting
beating
here
these
ready to
teams
roll
that
out
are
the
on.
Bulldogs.
They need to be beating teams like the Titans, teams like the Roosters, who are on the same level as them.
That's
and they're
the
not.
thing, though. In my opinion, they're a better team than the Titans. They're almost a better team than the Storm, Dolphins, Roosters, Raiders. But on the ladder, they're not. They've had unlucky losses and that sort of thing. And it costs you. As I said before, it comes back to bite you
They
in
really
the end.
need Regan Campbell-Gillard back as well.
Yeah,
he's a big
that's
loss.
true.
For him.
Yeah. So, it's going to be tough for them. But I think out of Eels, Bulldogs, Cowboys, they're the most likely to go on a run and sneak in. What's their for and against like?
It is. It's
good.
good.
It's really good. That's a huge factor.
Plus 32.
Their for and against is literally...
They got better for and against.
It's top 5.
Every team.
It's the 5th best.
Titans are in 7th. They've got -9. They got the best out of the
Dolphins
bottom
are 9 and Storm are 8. And then
-9 Titans are.
Yeah, but I'm saying Dolphins are not.
Sorry.
Eels is better than Dolphins, Storm. Everyone 5th and below. The Eels are better. They've got the 5th best for and against. So that could literally get them into the 8 at the end of the year.
It could.
Because I think it's going to... you look at the ladder right now. 9th is equal with 3rd. And it's for and against separating them. And I think at the end of the year, 6th and 10th or something are all going to be equal, and it's going to be for and against that sorts them out. And that's why I'm the Bulldogs, they're looking tough because their for and against sucks. But they have to get ahead on wins.
And they need some big wins as well.
Yeah. Where Eels, they can afford to be tied with those teams because they've got the for and against.
Yeah.
So there's still a chance of making the 8, but it also, they need to go on a run.
They do. They need to start winning games.
What did you think of Sean Lane's performance?
He was good.
Because he's in the mix for Origin.
Yeah, he is, but I don't think he's going to get there.
Yeah, I didn't even
I'd
think
have
he played
Hudson
that
Young,
good, to be honest.
Olakwatu in front of him.
Yeah.
Cameron Murray will be there. Liam Martin even.
I'll tell you who's playing good for the Eels. And he's now the top try scorer in the NRL currently. Sevo.
He is.
He's found
But he's always been a tank.
But he's always also just like has some really off moments. And to start the season, he was having off moments, but he's playing good now. And I thought Brown, as I said, I thought they missed Moses a lot to end the game. And I think Brown, he was
that
good,
Gufferson binning was like,
What happened there? I didn't see that.
He tackled a bloke without the ball.
Oh, no, I did see that. Yeah. Yeah. That was probably warranted, hey?
Yeah.
It's almost a 50-50 call, but it was probably warranted.
Yeah, so, Parramatta should be worried. Like, it's going to be a very nervous run this remainder of the season.
And they're capable of it.
We're nearly halfway through the year now, which is weird to think, but we're there.
Yeah, that is actually kind of hectic.
Yeah, wow. So, Parramatta, I don't know.
Before we move on...
Parramatta have a bye, they have the bye in round 27.
Yeah.
So
that could help.
It could help, but it could also be a bad thing for them.
They have the for and against.
They could pack up and go to Bali a week before the finals, like everyone else does. You don't know. It could. Yeah. It's gonna
be so good the end of the season.
Yeah,
man.
But this final round with that bye is going to be so interesting to see how it turns out.
They get the guaranteed 2 points, but
they do. So you don't know. It could boost them into the finals.
Yeah, but it also imagine a team.
Round 26 is going to be crucial for them.
I just really think that for and against is so important for them. That's such a big thing for them.
Yeah,
having more for and against than all those teams. That's huge for them.
People underestimate for and against every season. They're whatever, but
I really think that's going to come into play.
It's more important this year than what it is.
It's going to be equal, and for and against is going to make or break 8th. It'll be 8th and 9th. It's going to be. Imagine it's 1 point for and against.
I remember in the AFL once they do it percentage, but there was 0.1% between 8th and 9th that got a team into the finals.
Just on the Titans quickly before we move on, I just wanted to mention that I realised Aaron Shop played second row on the weekend in reserve grade.
I know. We know his family, and he's...
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if he's been dropped or if he had an injury, but apparently he's been injured. But if he's playing reserve grade, it's a bit... He might be coming back from an injury. Or
I just don't understand why they're playing him at second row. He moved there as a centre.
Yeah.
He moved there because
he's out this week as well.
He's
out this week.
Yeah.
So, don't know when he's... I'm still holding him in fantasy, which I'm getting to the point. I can't sell him off because he's got no money on it. But
yeah. And then Campbell has re-signed.
He has.
Which is huge because there were so many rumours about him living to because obviously AJ Brimson's fullback.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think
there's plans to have him
off the bench.
No, have him as the 5'8" eventually.
Who, Campbell?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Went 4 and finishes.
He played good on the weekend.
He did. He's always a gunner. Rated him since his debut. I think he's really small and skinny, but he's just such a gun to watch.
He's like his dad, man.
Yeah.
No, he's good. I like him. But let's go to 3 questions.
Yeah. Should I start?
Yeah.
Gus Gould confirmed last week that this week would be the week we can start talking about Origin. So my first question is you're going to be, does Addo-Carr make the side?
My first question is Fox a Smokey for Origin?
See, my answer is I'd love him to be there, but I don't think they're going to pick him. Yeah. Only because I think there's been a lot of other people in form. He's hardly played, but...
Would you pick him? Say he comes
As
out,
of right now, no. I said the only way I can see him playing is if he has a blinder, scores hat tricks and breaks the line these 2 weeks.
What if he comes out the next 2 weeks and plays the way he was playing? Because he was in good form before he got injured.
I just think he hasn't played enough, and I think you can't go past Campbell Graham and Stephen Crichton who've been killing it this year.
Yeah.
If Addo-Carr hasn't played games, it's a bit unfair on them. And he didn't play the series last year.
Yeah.
I just think I'd love him to be, but I just don't think they would pick him. And I personally wouldn't pick him either.
Especially if he didn't pick him last year.
Yeah.
But I think he should be in the mix.
Unless he comes out here and has blinders,
honestly,
hat tricks in both games, breaks the line, intercepts, all that sort of stuff.
I'd also be wary because he's come back very early from the injury.
What if he does?
But I think if he comes out the next 2 weeks and plays like he was playing, I personally would pick him. He was in my Origin side before he got injured.
Yeah.
But
I had him there early.
But the other thing is there are people that can.
I made a bold prediction early in the year that he'd make his way back to the side and score a hat trick in the first game.
Yeah.
I don't think that's happening now. I don't think he'll play.
Yeah. All right. My first question, Zane. Even though
you already had the Fox one, so
yeah, because you stole my first one. So my second question. Obviously, Magic Round was on the weekend. Should they move Magic Round?
I nearly had this question. Nearly had it, but
what's your take? I
think they should. Bring it to Wollongong.
Yeah, baby. Wollongong. Bring it to the Illawarra.
I reckon either New Zealand could go really well. I reckon Olympic Park. I know people hate Accor, but like if you had Magic Round there, it'd be fine because Olympic Park's set out. Like they could have those sort of things, and they could have more things like outside the ground.
I feel like we were touching on this last week.
Yeah, I know. But what I was saying with Suncorp, they should have. I don't know if it is like this, but they should just fence off the ground and have the turnstiles at the gates, so there's like all stuff outside the ground, and you can just freely walk into the stadium.
Yeah.
Like without having to scan a ticket. They have like fences.
So that's the thing. You have to, as soon as you scan your ticket to go in, you can't get back out.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is an issue.
Yeah.
Because you should be able to walk in and out, yeah.
But what I think they should have like this whole outdoor like area, just have the whole stadium fenced off and have, all
like
these.
the Easter show.
Yeah, sort of like the Easter show. And then
show.
you can just freely walk into the stadium once you.
Like how they have the wood chopping and you just walk in and out of the wood chopping.
Yeah, you just scan it and like,
Oh, that's a good idea.
I think Accor would be very good to have it, but I don't know if they want to have it in Sydney.
Yeah.
But it would go well if they did.
For me, I agreed like last week that they should move it, but after experiencing it in Brisbane, I don't know if you can move it. Because of the location of Caxton Street.
Yeah.
That's the only issue. Like it's too perfect in Brisbane. Just literally because of how good the location is of Suncorp with Caxton Street. And like Olympic Park does have
pubs and all
the
that.
pub there. What's the Locker Room Hotel?
Yeah.
So it could work, but don't fix what I just don't know. Obviously, it's in Brisbane next year.
It is
because that's the contract ends next year, and then it's 2025. It can move if they want to. I'm sort of like if it stays in Brisbane. Like last week, I was very anti it staying in Brisbane, but now I'm like, it probably should stay in Brisbane. But at the same time, I'm like New Zealand probably deserve it. It makes sense to move it to like Perth or something if you want to expand a team.
Yeah.
Like it's a trek
Wollongong,
for us.
huh?
Wollongong. I know a lot of people say like regional, which would be a bit weird, but yeah. I'm like,
I won't have it regional.
At the moment, I'm sort of like, I'm not too
Alice Springs
bothered now. Alice Springs.
Yeah.
Like I kind of, I'm here for moving it, but at the same time, I'm like sort of just, if they keep it in Brisbane, I'm happy as well.
Yeah.
So yeah. What is your next question?
The one I was going to say last week, but I completely forgot. So you know how Fox League have, we might have asked this before, but you know how Fox League have like the sounds when teams score?
Yeah.
Like, you know what the Warriors noise is? It's like, it's something like that. Yeah. Do you reckon they should change it to cheer who?
Yeah, 100% they should.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It suits
get
so
like
well.
Stacey Jones or something to do it. Or like, get like a celebrity, like get Taiki Waititi to come in and do it. Or like The Rock, bro.
Yeah, when they score, like I reckon it would be perfect.
And Dallin Wateni-Zelezniak is in the corner.
Yeah.
Choo!
On the, like Cowboys have yeehaw when they score. Like, that would be so good if they did.
I'll tell you what, while we're talking about
Warriors have such a weird one. Like it's like, I'm not being racist here, but it's just odd. like it's just an odd noise they have.
Yeah, no, a Chihu would work. Like as you said, the Cowboys have yeehaw.
Yeah.
So why not give the Warriors Chihu?
I don't think like the people who run that sort of stuff would know what it is, but
yeah, I think while we're talking about the noises, the Dolphins one, they need to fix that.
It's just a flapper.
It's a splash.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it's like why isn't it like the?
They wouldn't do it. We remember last year everyone was saying what's it going to be?
Yeah,
and now it's just a splash.
It's like
Sharks have the Jaws theme.
That's cool.
Yeah.
The Bulldogs have barking, which makes sense. I think Souths have glory.
Yeah, they have glory. There's no
like sort of weird. Yeah, that's the thing.
That'd be weird.
No, you know what the rabbit should be?
What?
And what's up, Dark?
That would be cool, but they wouldn't.
That'd be weird.
Panthers have like a growl. Tigers have a roar.
Panthers have their.
Yeah, that's it.
And then Tigers have a roar.
Yeah.
I think Raiders. I thought Raiders also.
Raiders have the boom
horn.
boom.
Oh, that makes sense. Because I thought Raiders had a horn like the Warriors.
The Storm have thunder.
That's cool.
Broncos have like
horse noise, which is cool.
That's
what do Titans have? They have swords.
Yeah, it's like Knights have like clanging swords, but
Knights have the clanging.
They're different, but you can tell the difference between them. But they're similar.
They both have clanging.
Yeah, they're similar, but Titans is more like a robotic one.
Yeah,
Titans is more like woom. Like
yeah.
Roosters have the cock-a-doodle-doo. Dragons is.
I think this is like a flame. Like
Yeah, it might be. Yeah,
I think
they don't score that much.
But nobody knows.
Yeah, they're all good. But I just think that'd be so good for the Warriors to have it.
There's room for improvement for a bunch of, including the Warriors. I think Chihu would be pretty good. Yeah. Now I don't actually have a third question.
Mine is a trivia. This next one.
Yeah,
how many grand finals can you name going backwards from last year?
Like who has won the premiership?
Yeah,
I can go back to like the 70s.
Can you? Let's see it.
Quiz me.
Okay, 2022.
I want to not look at my laptop.
Yeah.
Let's turn my laptop around.
2022.
Oh.
Can you do the scores as well?
I probably can't do the score.
Okay,
I couldn't do last year's score. I can do the losers.
You can't do last year's score.
I can't. It was Panthers, obviously, though. I don't know the
They
score.
won 28-12. I might get my NRL up. So
21, Panthers.
Yeah.
20, Storm.
We don't talk about that one. Yeah, you got to say who they defeated as well.
Well, 20, who'd they beat in 21? I don't remember.
I just wanted you to mention South. That's, we got there. We got there.
20 Storm, they beat Panthers. 2019 was Roosters beating Raiders. 2018
shouldn't
was
have.
Roosters beating Storm. 2017 Storm beat Cowboys. 2016 Sharks beat Storm. 2015 Cowboys beat Broncos.
Yeah,
2014, I don't remember that one. Souths beat Bulldogs. 2013 Roosters beat Manly. 2012 Storm beat Bulldogs. 2011 Dragons beat Roosters.
No, they didn't.
Oh, no, Manly won 2011.
Yeah, they beat
against
the Warriors.
I was going to say Roosters. Well,
they beat Warriors.
Manly 2011 because Dragons was 2010 against
Dragons
Roosters.
used to win games, did you know?
Storm, Asterix, 2009
beat the
against
Eels.
Eels. 2008 was
40-0.
Manly over Storm. 40-0. The 2007 was Storm over Manly.
Yeah.
2006 was Broncos. I don't know who they beat. Manly?
I know who they beat.
Who'd they beat? I'd go Manly or Storm.
It's one of the two.
I'll go... I feel like it's Manly. Nah, Storm.
It's Storm.
And then Tigers was 2005.
We'll keep going then, yeah.
Bulldogs 2004.
Yes, it was. Who they beat?
Roosters. And Tigers beat Cowboys. 2003, I'm going to go Panthers beat Roosters.
Yep, you got that.
2002 Roosters. Did they beat Panthers?
It wasn't Panthers.
Eels.
No.
Knights.
No.
I don't know.
We were just talking about them before. This side finished minor premiers that year, the team that Roosters beat, but we were just talking about them before.
I don't know.
With the scoreboard.
What do you mean? Oh, I don't know. We talked about
It's
a
the
lot
Warriors.
of Oh, yeah, it was too because they had the anniversary jerseys last year. Nearly knocked my laptop.
2001.
So I told you, I wasn't sure if I could name who they beat. 2001 was, I want to say Knights.
Yeah.
And then 2000 was Broncos.
Who'd they beat the Knights? I keep
They beat the Eels,
Yeah, they
right?
did. 2000 was the Broncos, yes.
I couldn't tell you. Did they beat, I don't know, Knights?
No.
I don't really know who they
was
beat.
the shitney Roosters. Yeah.
99 was Storm because they won in their second year.
They
That was
beat the
against Dragons.
Yeah.
98.
First NRL grand final.
98 Broncos beat Bulldogs.
They did. They pumped them.
97. This is a bit of a technicality because of Super League, but not the non-Super League
The
one
ARL.
was Knights beat Manly.
Yeah.
96. It's either Broncos or Manly.
It's one of those two.
It's definitely.
They
did
beat
they
beat the Dragons in that grand final.
This is where I always get stumped.
And the score was 20-8 between Manly and the Broncos. One of those two.
I'm gonna go Broncos.
Wrong.
It's Manly.
Manly, yeah, 20-8. I didn't even know that. 95. Sorry.
Was Bulldogs.
Yep, beat Manly.
Beat Manly. That was like a mad upset too. 94 Milk.
Yeah, it was
their last premiership. Was that against Bulldogs?
Pumped the Dogs in that game.
93 would be Broncos then.
Yeah, they
because I know
beat
96 and
93 Broncos beat
up.
the Dragons.
And then 92 Raiders?
I didn't know. No. Same as the year before, the year after.
Broncos went back to back.
Yeah, beat the Dragons.
And then 91 was Panthers.
It was,
and then 90 was Raiders.
Yes,
and
same grand final. 89 was Raiders over Balmain.
Bulldogs 88.
Of course, you knew that.
Manly 87.
Yes.
86 Eels, obviously everyone knows that.
4-2, what a score.
85 and 84 was Bulldogs.
Going back to this
83, 82, 81 Eels.
Yep.
80 Bulldogs.
Yep.
79 Dragons.
Yep.
78 Manly.
Yep.
77 Dragons.
Wow.
76 Manly. And 75, I don't know. That's Easts.
It was the Roosters. Yeah, you got it.
74 Easts.
Yep.
72 Dragons.
73. We're up.
73 Dragons.
No.
I don't know.
It was Manly. Manly 73. 72 Manly. 71 Rabbitohs. 70 Rabbitohs. I just need to mention the Rabbitohs in there. You know.
I knew I was coming close to a Rabbitohs three-peat. There you go.
Okay, there we go.
How far did I get back? Like 73?
7, yeah, but you made a few hiccups along the way. Like, there was obviously that 2006 one. You
didn't know who they beat.
Yeah,
there was a couple I didn't know
2002 you didn't know who they beat as well.
I couldn't name any like the 90s who they beat.
Yeah, I probably could have kept. I probably would have got to like the 90s, to be honest.
Knowing the both?
Probably about 96 before I would have been like,
I don't really know both. Oh, as I just showed, I don't really know both, but I can name the premiership winner. I hicked up on 11 and 10 though for some reason.
Yeah.
I just got lost. I was going too fast. All right, let's move on to the preview. I feel like we've been going for ages. If you're still listening to this,
Yeah, thank you
shout
very
out to
much.
you. Wow.
Preview time.
All right. Before we get into previews, as always, it's brought to you by Picklebet. I hope you didn't get on our bets on the weekend because they all lost. But as always, we pick a multi each and it gets put up on Picklebet. You can bet alongside us. We also create a try scorer multi. You can jump on our bets on Picklebet.
Mine this week is from the Thursday night game. Storm Broncos.
Oh, mine wasn't. I changed it, luckily. Right. Use code HOTDOG when you're signing up, but always gamble responsibly like Zane does. Chances are you're about to lose. Call 1-800-858-858 for help or visit gamblinghelpline.org. Zane, your multi of the week.
My multi of the week is for the Storm to win 1-12.
Ooh.
And for Cameron Munster to score a try.
And that's your multi of the week.
Yes, very simple. I'll add first try scorer in shower.
Yeah, do you want to do a first try
Xavier Coates.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
So you want Munster anytime and Coates first try scorer?
Yes.
You want both?
Yeah, we'll
why
do
not?
that.
This is on Picklebet.
Storm 1-12.
Add some value. Munster ATS and Coates first try scorer. There you go. Zane's adding some value in for you guys, so you better get on this bad. You reckon Storm are going to beat
I do.
the minor premiers? It is
I
in
just
Melbourne.
think the record they've got, and Storm coming off a loss, they don't often lose back-to-back. They have recently. I think they're going to win. I just have the feeling they're going to win this.
It is the Coates.
I feel like it could be like a big, 28-20 sort of scoreline.
Yeah.
High scoring.
The Xavier Coates Cup, that's what they call it. I'm on Broncos 1-12, and I'm on Katoni Staggs anytime try scorer.
Okay.
He's hard to pick to score a try. It doesn't actually score as much as you'd think.
Yeah.
But I'm on him. Let's move on to game of the week, the Steve Price Shield, Bulldogs Warriors. I'm on Bulldogs 1-12. Shockingly, I'm tipping the Bulldogs this week. Fox is back. I forgot to put in all the ins and outs. Yeah. So do your own research. Get on the NRL app and find out that Fox is back. And speaking of the Fox being back, I'm not on Josh Adokar 1 try, Zane.
2.
I'm not on Josh Adokar 2 tries.
Hat trick.
Josh Adokar hat trick on return.
Is that your multi?
It isn't. I nearly made it my multi, but I feel like it's too obvious doing a Bulldogs multi. But it'll be on Picklebet. I'll make sure it's on Picklebet, just not as my multi of the week. But I just remember the Melbourne game, where it just came to me. I just had a gut feeling. Yeah. For some reason, I've legitimately got a gut feeling in this one. It's just I don't know.
Field intercept, you reckon?
He did it against Warriors last time. Yeah. I don't know. I've just got a feeling that an Adokar hat trick.
I'm ready.
Even in a loss, to be honest.
An exciting player to have back. Bulldogs are going to be out in numbers at Accor. 20,000 people at full stadium.
You reckon we're going to have 20,000 at Friday night at 6 p.m. against the international team?
Probably not. But
I think 5,000 people.
They're going to get a crowd there to watch Adokars come back, and that's sadly why I think the Warriors will win 1-12.
Only 1-12?
Yeah.
Who you going any time?
Let's go at Cozzy.
Cozzy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cozzy the other week.
I just think Warriors have been in all their games. I think they've got enough to beat the Dogs.
Especially the way we played.
And they need to start winning 3 losses in a row. They need to start winning games now.
Yeah.
So I think Warriors get over.
They've lost 3 in a row. Yeah, wow. Who'd they lose to? Panthers?
Melbourne, Roosters, Penrith.
Roosters, true. Yeah. In New Zealand, yeah, true. All right, speaking of the Roosters and the Panthers, it's Panthers and Roosters.
Hard game.
Can you think of any ex or current players that have played both teams? Oh, there you
go.
That's too easy.
Yeah.
The Freddie Fittler Cup.
That's where all the Origin players come from.
This is the New South Wales Bowl. This is the city country.
Yeah.
Panthers can be country, Roosters are city, obviously.
Yeah.
But who are you going with this one?
Where's it at? It's at Bluebet.
It's at
Penrith. Then I'm going Penrith. 13 plus as well.
There you go. You may have noticed as well.
That's why I think Crichton can score in this game.
Crichton?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, come on.
I
hope they pump them.
You may have noticed that I'm actually just tipping normally this week
as
well. I've abandoned the strategy. Actually, I do this every week. Let's go back and look at who won last week. I always forget to do this. You won, shockingly.
I did.
You had 12 tips out of 24. You actually had 2 same game multis hit and nearly had that Panthers one as well. I had 1 same game multi hit, the Titans one.
Yeah.
And I came away with a total of 5 right. Ooh. I tipped 3 games correctly. So, yeah.
You spotted me this week.
And so that is why I am going back to
so Penrith
usual programming. I'm on Panthers 13 plus with Crichton anytime try scorer. The exact same
thing. It will happen now. They're both back in it.
Yeah, that definitely means it will happen if I'm backing it. Game of the week, South Tigers.
Can you see the Tigers winning this?
Honestly, I don't think they will, but there is a world in which they
I
win
can
this
see
game.
it as well.
They've done it before.
They always aim up to South.
Yeah, there's the game where they did beat you, and then there's that game with the Tom Burgess try at the end where they nearly beat you.
But surely not.
Was it not last year they beat you?
They did.
After the Eels game.
Don't talk about that. But
Off the back of a big win. I'm telling you, bro.
Nah,
screw it. You know what? Screw it. I'm going Tigers this week. I'm doing it. Tigers 1-12. I'm changing my tier.
In the Robbie Farrell Cup.
In the Robbie Farrell Cup.
Adam Dewey, we've had a few.
Go the Tigers. And I'm just going to... Who do I jump on?
I think you're crazy.
Luke Brooks. Luke Brooks anytime try scorer.
There is no way the Tigers win this at the moment.
Just for reference, before I change my tip, I was on South's 13 plus.
I'm going to stay sensible and say South's 13 plus, and Alex John's the name time try scorer. How does that sound?
Is he safe?
Is he? I don't know.
Is he? We'll find out.
He should.
All right, Cowboys, Dragons, and let's be fast because.
Want me to get into this quickly? Cowboys 13 plus and Murray Tuilagi anytime try scorer.
I'll just get you to my laptop's about to die, so we're going to have a speed run this.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm going Cowboys 13 plus and Kyle Felt anytime try scorer, and that's my multi of the week. Jump on pickle bet.
There we go. Okay, next
Raiders,
game.
Eels.
Raiders Eels. I'm going Raiders down in Canberra, but I can see Eels winning this game. And let's say anytime try scorer. Let's go. Last week he scored. Jordan Rapiner.
I like it. I can see Eels winning this game because they've got a good record in Canberra. They haven't lost there since 2019. But I've promised people I wouldn't tip the Eels. Yeah. So I'm not tipping the Eels. I want Raiders 1-12. Savage scored last week. Give me Savage.
I don't think he's playing this week, is he?
Oh, screw it. I'll get on Rapiner. We'll go to the same bet again. All right, Knights, Titans.
Gosh, Titans have PTSD from this ground last year, but I think they're in good form at the moment. This is a game where I can see the Titans losing because, they just lose these random games. I'm going Titans 1-12 in Newcastle and Lofia Khan-Pereira to score.
Oh, he's such a safe option. I'm actually going Knights 1-12. I think I like them at home this year. They hang in games. I think they can get one out.
Yeah.
And Bradman Best, fresh from Bali with a new tattoo. Bradman Best anytime try. There we go. Who are you going, Manly and Sharks?
I think Manly have too much issues at the moment. I think the Sharks bounce back, so I'm going Sharks to win. And I'll say they win 13 plus. I'll say they win, and I'm going to back the man who ripped Manly apart last year when they played in Talakai to score.
Have they played since that game? Surely they've played once.
I think they might have at the back end of the year. They might have.
That is our predictions done and
dusted.
What
was your prediction for that game?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm on Sharks 1-12.
There we go.
And I'm on Ronaldo. Sue!
There we go.
And then our bets of the week, I had Cowboys 13 plus. And did I said Felt?
Yep.
And then you had Storm 1-12, Munster anytime, Coates first try scorer.
There we go.
And I've already done our try scorer multi. Because screw you, Zane, I don't like your predictions. Nah, jokes. Yeah. I just thought this was good. It's the people trying to get into Origin. Josh Addo-Carr, Campbell, Graham, Gramble, and Joseph Suoliti, try scorers. They're all trying to get an Origin spot. Let's try it, baby. That'll do it. Let's try it.